The Daytona 500 is a fast-fading memory as the Winston Cup haulers hit the road. The grind has begun for over 40 race crews and television networks as well. For Winston Cup teams, the search for speed begins at dawn when their long day begins. Outside the track, our TNN crew forges the link between the action and your living room. Wrenches move furiously as the sun rises, for teams have just 2 days to find their race day combination. TV crews face that same fast-approaching deadline. As morning moves along, the NASCAR garage comes alive with anticipation, as does our team, as we plan our strategy to bring you all the action.
Okay, guys, let's get started.
Where's Ernie? Did anybody tell him about this meeting?
Oh, yeah, he knows about it. He's on his way over.
Man.
Well, yeah, Haviland update. Obviously, we got to recap Daytona, but, you know, we know how it ends up, but who do we focus on to start?
Well, Jeff Gordon, I mean, he was absolutely an airplane that first part of the race and then had all his problems, you know. Jack went down and crumpled the left front fender, and that was pretty much it for him, but Sterling said he was the only car that he couldn't pass in the race.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I really think Sterling was the best car at the track that day. I mean, I think the best car won. I mean, Gordon was strong. There's no doubt about that.
Well, he was the best car most of the day, but I tell you, that 3-car put on a heck of a charge there at the end. And, you know, I would have liked to see what would have happened if there had been a few more laps. I mean, he caught him. I just don't think he had quite enough time to catch him. That was a tremendous charge.
Yeah, but let me tell you, Sterling had to stop at the same time and put on 4 new tires. That would have been history the same way. The best car won the race.
Runt's rocket ship.
Yeah.
You know, they said he was way back, and, you know, about 8 laps ago, they said Earnhardt's coming hard, and wasn't about 3 more laps to look in the mirror, and he's behind the 6 car, and I knew he was in trouble, but we held on for him.
Here's how the points stack up following the Daytona 500.
So the Monte Carlo ended up being a pretty good story.
Well, it was a big story down there. My question is, when you get here to Rockingham, they talk about low drag numbers. What about the downforce? Is it going to have enough downforce here to be effective?
I think the car has already proven that it's got good downforce. The biggest thing is whether it's really better than the Ford. I don't really think it's better than the Ford. I think they're pretty much on even ground right now as far as the way they handle.
You know, my brother Dale tested one for Dale Earnhardt last year. He wasn't really impressed with the car at that time. They've made some big improvements.
Probably the biggest differences between the Lumina and the Monte Carlo can be seen on NASCAR's long template. This is a template that we go through tech with every week at the racetrack. You look at the silhouettes of the hood, the way the air passes across there, real similar. The cowl intake, where the motor gets its air, real similar. Up the windshield, we're looking about the same. As the air passes across the roof, there again, the lines are real parallel, nothing new. When we get to the back glass, you see more of a dramatic difference between the 2 cars. This is the biggest difference between the Lumina and the Monte Carlo, because our Lumina had a spoiler that was placed here. The Monte Carlo, the spoiler will be placed here. The height of the deck lid versus the roof, the softness of the back glass, that's where the car is going to generate more downforce. If you're looking closer at the Monte Carlo rear deck, you can see a built-in advantage. The arc, the curvature of the trunk is going to allow the center of the spoiler to be up higher than the ends of the spoiler. A higher spoiler in the center means more downforce on the car. The C-post on the Monte Carlo, a long curved surface, helps guide the air to the rear spoiler, which contributes to the added downforce on the car. Moving to the front of the car, last year's Lumina nose would be considered a blunt nose, a flat front, a shelf-type bumper with a very flat headlight door, compared to the Monte Carlo nose, a very soft nose, a lot of lines that flow around, a bubbled headlight, a lot of puff. This nose right here means lower drag. The air would stay attached. It could become separated on this nose. The air will stay attached on this nose, making for lower drag, more downforce, making for a better race car. After 6 years working with the Lumina and just 6 short months with the Monte Carlo, our tests have already shown an advantage. It is scary to think where we could be with the help of the Chevy teams and the 3 teams here at Hendrick Motorsport in 6 years with this car.
It's probably one of the most impressive new car showings on the racetrack that I've seen probably in quite some time. So a lot of people put a lot of work into it. Ford guys have got to go back to work and come up with something a little bit better to beat them, because right now we're a little bit behind, but we've been here before. You know, it never seems like you can get it where everyone's happy. Either you got Chevrolet hollering that the Fords are too fast, or the Ford guys hollering about the Chevrolets. So, you know, this is no different.
I'd have to say that Monte Carlo was a disappointment today. They didn't look to be any better than they had been with their Luminas. Those teams just excel at this racetrack, and we're getting closer.
You know, the Monte Carlo may look like a worn bar of soap, but that 3 and the 4 car, you can put a road blaster body on those, and it'd still run.
You know, the 4 car has won the Daytona 500 3 of the last 5 years. Those same cars ran up front last week. They always do at Daytona.
And speaking of guys who've won it, where is Ernie?
Hey, hey.
How you doing?
Hey, you know where the T&N compound is?
I think they went around that way when they went through the gate on the other side.
I've been looking for them for a long time.
Well, you might find them inside there somewhere.
Man.
You can try it.
Yeah.
Good talking to you.
Okay,
All
okay.
right. Take care.
Thanks.
All righty.
Hey, hey, you guys know where the T&N compound is? Man, they're doing a part on Earnhardt, and I got to get there because I know how to beat him. Man.
I feel better about this year than I did 94 starting out. I'm excited about it. Two, like I say, we're going to focus harder, and I've been watching my health and getting a little more physical, and I think they're in trouble. I'm going to bear down a little bit this year.
Well, he better say it like that. I mean, I'd hope that he wouldn't say after 7, I'm going to quit.
We could all be in trouble. He may win this thing by 1,000 points or something.
He's kind of just blowing wind there. I mean, he's pretty serious every time he climbs in, you know. I mean, you can make that statement when you've, you know, got 7 championships behind you, but it isn't like he hasn't been trying, or it's not like because of 7, he's not just as hungry for the 8th.
Earnhardt's 7 championships is the premier accomplishment in all of sport, no matter the playing field.
The 49ers probably come as close in football to what Earnhardt and them have done, and they still haven't done it as many times as what Earnhardt has. So I don't think there's anything in any other sport that compares with what he has been able to accomplish here.
It goes in cycles. There was a Petty era, and he dominated. There was an era for myself, and I dominated, and now there's the Earnhardt era.
His top competition has some ideas on how to stop him.
Put a little darker tint on his sunglasses, maybe. He's pretty fond of those glasses he wears.
I have the knowledge, I have the experience, I have the patience, I have the expertise, I have the good looks. I have everything it takes to beat him.
If we had some handcuffs, maybe we could cuff his hands behind his back. He'd probably still steer with the teeth, though. He could probably win about any race out here with his hands tied behind his back. He just uses teeth.
I owe him a couple dumps. I need to dump him a couple times because he's dumped me enough.
You just got to beat him.
Hey, man, I know it's still a little early. Do you think he can win number 8 this year? That'd be unreal if he did.
It'd be tough to beat.
Well, he will be, but I tell you what, there's some Ford guys that are going to have something to say about it. Rusty Wallace wants it awfully bad, and Mark Martin is ready. And I think maybe as a dark horse, Dale Jarrett in the 28 car. That's a good car week in, week out.
That car was sitting there last year before Ernie got hurt with a real chance for the championship. I really think he may win the whole deal this year.
But they're all running uphill. To win this championship, you got to finish races, and that's what that 3 team does best. They do not fall out of races, and they're always running up near the front.
Guys, the championship's one thing, but have you looked at the schedule we have for this year?
Buddy, don't plan too many parties on the lake this summer because you're not going to be there to enjoy them.
Our next weekend off is Christmas.
We get Christmas off this year?
Here are the Winston Cup telecasts TNN will present this year. Our next is the Winston Select. The All-Star Race goes off Saturday night, May 20th at Charlotte Motor Speedway at 7:30 p.m., and all of these listings are Eastern Time. The Miller Genuine Draft 500 at Dover, Delaware, Sunday, June 4th at noon. The UAW GM Teamwork 500 from Pocono, Sunday, June 11th at 1 p.m. The Slick 5300 from New Hampshire International Speedway, Sunday, July 9th, 1 o'clock. The Delaware 500 from Dover, Sunday, September 17th at noon. And the AC Delco 400 from Rockingham, Sunday, October 22nd at 12:30 p.m. Finally, the Slick 5500 at Phoenix, Sunday, October 29th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Also in 1995, again, TNN will have more Busch Grand National racing live than all other networks combined. Here's a look at the schedule. And NASCAR's newest schedule, the Super Trucks by Craftsman. Half of their 20 events will be telecast live on the Nashville network.
Hey! You guys know where the TNN compound is? You know where the TNN compound is? No. Man, you guys aren't no help.
I figured you should know. You work for them now.
Yeah, but I can't find them.
Now, we don't have to worry about saying truck here at Rockingham, but all these changes, drivers, crew chiefs, sponsors, it's going to cost us $1 for each mistake.
Oh, me.
18 car.
Well, I'm in the hole right now. Bobby Labonte.
Okay. 29 car, crew chief.
Crew chief Buddy Parrott. Wrong. No, I'm right.
Yes, you're right. You had to look it up.
You're right.
33 car.
Robert Presley.
44 car.
David Green.
Jeff Purvis. Jeff Purvis.
Well, David Green's in the 44 car.
Yeah, that's
the wrong day.
He kind of loaded on you there. He's not going to be here anyhow.
94.
94. Bill Elliott. Yeah, the big M.
You think this is easy? I wonder if the fans have got this figured out. Wow.
Don't wanna be a richer man. It's gonna have to be a different man. Time may change me, but I can't trace time. Don't tell them to blow up out of it. Where's the shame you've left us up to our next event? Time may change me. You can't twist time. I said that time may change me, but I can't trace time.
Man. I tell you, when they build these new racetracks, I sure hope it's a lot easier to find the TV places. Shoot.
The good news is Winston Cup racing continues to grow. The bad news is how many races in one season can teams actually run without exhausting their crews?
There's 52 weekends in a year. I guess it's possible to run 52 events, but when you start talking about adding events, you start talking about adding extra people. You cannot do it with the people that we've got. You'd probably have to double your workforce. You start doubling your payroll, it gets expensive.
Really running about 5 too many right now. We really are, I think. I think we're working our rear ends off. There's going to be one extra track added to California, and that's really pushing it. But hey, we need that market. We need to get out to California. There's race fans that want to see us.
The schedule right now is so demanding, more than any sport I know of. Traveling, the work we got to get done, the cars, the races, the length of the races, all those things are such big factors that I don't see how we can add any more races to the schedule.
Drivers can drive every week. Yeah, I mean, I used to drive 56, 57 times a year. The problem is the teams, the crew, they have to get these cars ready, and we're about maxed out there, really. These fellas work their hearts and souls day and night. They sacrifice family life to be on a race team, and I think we make them sacrifice enough with 31 races. I don't think we need any more.
Despite that sentiment, potential track owners continue to plan new facilities throughout the country. At issue continues to be what area of the country to expand to and who would gain or lose an event.
We need the Midwest so bad, and I'm sold on it. We really need it. I'm not a promoter, I know that, but I'm just looking at common sense. We need a track in the Midwest. If they want to build a mile or mile and a half track and it's got 150,000 seats in it, and we got to run a short track that's maybe only got 60 or 80, we need to be in the Midwest. And I love all the tracks we run on right now, I'll tell you that. But maybe there's some tracks instead of running 2, we need to run 1.
Some people are talking about who's going to get knocked out as far as tracks. I'm not sure that we have to do that yet. One way we make it do that is cut back testing even more than what we have now. A test costs as much to go to as what a race does, and we don't get paid anything for it. So there is an opportunity there to cut back the test by a couple of more dates, run a couple of more races. We still have more time off that way than what we would before.
Dallas, Las Vegas, wherever. NASCAR President Bill France has stated that one track could be added to the schedule in California as early as 1996, but didn't disclose any hope for additional races in the future. That hasn't deterred would-be track owners from breaking ground with visions of Winston Cup racing and big monetary gains in the back of their minds.
I certainly see how the schedule could be reworked to the point to accommodate some of these new racetracks. But you got to remember one thing: we don't need them. That's the problem that the new racetracks have, and that's one of the things that keeps NASCAR kind of elevated above everybody else's. We don't really need any new racetracks, so it's going to have to be a real serious want to get another one on the schedule.
Without even a guarantee of having a race, they're building a track. I guess they feel like if they build a nice enough facility, big enough to hold a lot of people, NASCAR will give them a race. You know, that's like rolling the dice, man, shooting some craps.
I think a lot of it gets to the fact that the local cities are behind it now. They see that racing has kind of stepped up into the so-called big leagues now, and there's a lot of money that can be made for the city if they have a Winston Cup track in their area, and there's plenty of people that want to build them, I'm sure.
I'm sure those that are building it are like that movie. If they build it, we'll come.
Well, you know, I think we're going to California in 96, as France says. I think that'll happen. And I got to feel like that we're going to show up at that new track in Homestead, Florida, that the Busch Series is going to finish on this year, too.
Don't buy your cruise wear yet. Remember how long it took Bob Bear to get a date for New Hampshire after he had his track built?
Yeah, that's true. That did take quite a while. But, oh, that's true.
Oh, look who's here. Hey, guys, I finally found you. Man, I got so much to tell you.
I hope so, as long as you've been gone. What? You get lost? Have the patch on the wrong eye?
Patch on the middle eye.
That was it.
Well, last year was certainly the most famous crop of rookies we've had in a long, long time. But, man, there's some real talent coming into the sport this year.
7 new faces will attempt to make Winston Cup races this season, and each is hoping to be crowned Max Race Card's Rookie of the Year when it's all over. Ricky Craven, Randy LaJoy, and Robert Presley make the jump from the Busch Series, while the legendary Steve Kinzer tries to impact NASCAR as he did in sprint cars. Road racer Davy Jones and Australian Terry Byers round out the list of men who will be going through a huge learning curve.
I'm definitely a rookie, you know. It's going to take a couple, you know, I think a year at least to get going, and I'd say next year we'll be in a learning mode too.
There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road in this rookie season, but I've got very, very positive attitude towards this, and I feel very good about it, and I think that it was a very good decision, and I'm, you know, if we cooperate with each other, I think that at the end of the year we can reflect on a great season.
As they gain confidence, the new kids on the block will be sizing up their main competition, each other.
Davy Jones, I think he's going to be tough. Kinzer, heck, he's won so much, you know, they ain't no telling what he can do, and Craven's won everything he's ever done, so, you know, I think it's going to be a good rookie battle this year. I don't think there's anyone got a big advantage over the other one, and whoever wins it, you know, congratulations. I hope it's us.
It's going to be a lot different. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, I might not ever be able to drive one of these things. I don't know. Let's hope I can get my head screwed on. I got enough ability where I can handle it. It's going to be tough. I got to start over again, and I got to pay attention to what's going on.
I think once we get 6 or 8 races under our belt, and I know that sounds like a lot, but once we get 6 or 8 races under our belt, we'll become more confident in each other, and we'll understand each other's personalities, our weaknesses and our strengths, and we'll help each other. See, right now we can't help each other because we don't understand each other completely. It's all new, and that's really quite a chore.
Well, we got lots of good rookies, but everybody really wants to know who's going to win the championship. We're going to do predictions again this year, so who do you think?
I want to know who Ernie thinks.
Well, you know, I tell you, the 28 team's going to be awesome. They were awesome last year, and I think they're going to be really dominant this year.
Well, I have to say Mark Martin. I really think he's off to the best start he's ever had, and I really feel that Roush has everything it takes to put this car out there and maybe win the championship.
I know who I'd like to say, but I don't want to jinx him, so I'll say Earnhardt.
Oh, you're not choosing? Oh, okay. I go along with Ernie. I think the 28 car, I think they would have won it last year had Ernie not got hurt. And it's the same team. It's a different driver, but similar styles. I got to go with my little brother.
Well, there are a lot of teams that are more competitive week to week or track to track, but nobody finishes more races in the top 5 than the 3 car, and that's how you win this championship. I think it'll be Earnhardt again. Buddy, they're serving lunch in the Unicals. We better get up and see Jane for it's time to go on the air.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, guys, have a good show.
It's going to be a great year.
I worked all winter.
See the booth, man.
Hey, God.
Ernie, let's go, man.
No, I got a lot more to say.
Say it on the air. Let's go.
Oh, man.
The following is a special presentation on TNN, the Nashville Network.
Over 75,000 race fans have flocked to the sandhills of North Carolina today, to Rockingham, to see motorsport's #1 attraction. Anticipation runs high for this Winston Cup season. Today, 42 teams hope their driver will take the next step toward racing's ultimate prize, the Winston Cup. And now, on the front row, Glenn Jarrett is with the men who will lead them to the green flag today.
And Ricky Rudd starts his tied forward on the outside of the pole. If you remember from last fall, Ricky had a real chance at winning here at Rockingham. He faded to 4th in the end. He told me just a moment ago his car's awfully strong. I think he'll be a contender all day. But the man whose eyes everybody have been on this week in the garage area, Jeff Gordon, number 24, set a new track record, has blown away the competition. Looked to have the car to beat at Daytona. What about it today, Jeff?
Well, you know, we got to have some kind of comeback from Daytona. It's kind of disappointing. We had such a great run going, and today is a great way to bounce back from that. The car's been running great, has been since we unloaded off the truck, and we were able to come away at the pole, which was kind of a surprise to us. We knew we had a fast car, but we didn't know if we had enough for that track record. And today I feel good. You know, it's you're starting up front here. It's a long day. You need to be there at the end, so we're just going to have to wait to see. That first lap's important, and then wait till the end.
Well, I think he'll be there at the end, but there's a couple of guys on back in the pack may have something to say about it. Randy Pemberton is with them.
Thanks, Glenn. One of those guys is Rusty Wallace. He's the defending champion of the Goodwrench 500. He'll go off 16th today, but for the 5th straight year, he fails to come out of Daytona with a good finish or a top 10, and he's trailing Dale Earnhardt once again in the chase for the Winston Cup title. Dale Earnhardt is way back here in row 12. We watched him win the title from deep in the field here at Rockingham last year. Hey, Dale, Ernie Irvin's in the booth. We know you're going to go to the front, but he wants to bet you $20 you can't get there in 20 laps. What do you think?
I don't think we can do it 20 laps down here. Ernie sort of knows that too, but you know, it's good having Ernie up here calling the races, really, but it's the tough racetrack to pass on, and we're looking forward just to get things sorted out here and see if we can get by a few cars and stay with the lead pack. You know, if you don't get up through this traffic, you can catch yourself a lap down pretty quick, so got to get through this traffic and get up with the leaders.
Okay, he'll definitely be careful, but he'll be doing it in a hurry. There's no question about it. Dale Earnhardt will be a threat today.
TNN Motorsports proudly presents live exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 Winston Cup stock car race from Rockingham, North Carolina. Well, Daytona is but a memory, and Daytona is somewhat of a season in itself. Welcome to Rockingham, everybody. I'm Mike Joy. You're in Daytona so long, and there's so much to do, and that race is so important, it's like its own little season. And now, for many of these teams, the point chase starts in earnest. Some happy to get away from Daytona with a car intact, and others still celebrating. Professor Buddy Baker, who helps run the Buck Baker Driving School here and at Atlanta, if Daytona is such a power track, put it on the floor and leave it here. What does that make Rockingham?
Well, Rockingham is definitely a handling racetrack. You make one mistake here, you're out of here. So you really have to have everything working all day long. One mistake, behind the wall.
Ernie Irvin, I think that 20 is safe in Dale Earnhardt's pocket for now, but after spending most of the month of February in Daytona, what's it like for the drivers coming in here?
Well, I tell you, we're going to find out now what teams are prepared to run for the championship. And we're going to see the teams that run up front all day and the ones that have really good pit stops. And we're going to find out who's prepared to run for the championship.
A handling racetrack and a total preparation approach is what it's going to take to win here today. We'll be right back with the Goodwrench 500 after this.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil, add more life to your car. By Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. And by the more than 700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone. The right parts at the right price.
They have fired engines, so let's go straight to the starting grid. Jeff Gordon has his third career pole. Ricky Rudd's second straight race. He's been on the front row here. Row number 2, the Bodine brothers, Brett on the inside, and Jeff, who had 10 pole positions last year. Titan top 10 finishes here, rather. Ken Schrader, runner-up here in 1991, and Derek Cope in row number 3. Row 4, John Andretti posts his best qualifying effort, and Ricky Craven, the rookie. Row number 5 will be Rick Mast, who finished second to Earnhardt here in October. And Todd makes it all 3 Bodines starting in the top 10 today. Row number 6, Michael Waltrip, 6th last week. And Morgan Shepherd has 9 top 10s here. Row number 7, sophomore Joe Nemechek makes his 4th Rockingham start. And Dick Trickle. Row number 8, Bobby Labonte. And Rusty Wallace, 2-time defending champion of the Goodwrench 500. Row number 9, Bobby Hamilton had his best career Winston Cup finish here. And Jeff Burton, last year's Rookie of the Year. Row number 10, Mark Martin scored his first Winston Cup win right here in '89. And Randy LaJoie will start in the rear after a crash in yesterday's last practice. Row number 11, Steve Grissom ran a strong 7th last week. Sterling Marlin, the Daytona 500 winner. Row number 12, Dale Earnhardt came from way back here to win last October. And Bill Elliott, winner of this race in '92. Ted Musgrave had a career-high 4th place finish last week at Daytona. And Dale Jarrett. Row number 14, Kyle Petty, a 2-time winner of this race, and Jimmy Spencer, who was 8th here in 1990, his best finish here. Kenny Wallace, his 4th race here with his 3rd different car owner, and Terry Labonte, who won this race in '86. Row 16, Mike Wallace and Jimmy Hensley, who replaced Mike Chase in the active racing Chevrolet yesterday. Row 17, Lake Speed finished 2nd here in '88, and Jeremy Mayfield. Row number 18 is Greg Sachs and road race specialist Davy Jones in his first Rockingham start. Row 19, Darrell Waltrip, 4-time Rockingham winner, and rookie Robert Presley. Row number 20, 14-time World of Outlaws champ Steve Kinzer, and Loy Allen makes his 4th start here. Provisionals, Ward Burton won a Busch race here in '92, and Dave Marcus has a Winston Cup record 55th start here at Rockingham today, breaking a tie with Richard Petty. Not making the field were Gary Bradbury, Ben Hess, James Hilton, Billy Standridge, and as we said, Mike Chase participated in first-round qualifying. Here's our AutoZone race analysis, brought to you by more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. 42 cars will start today's race. This track is just over a mile, so it's 492 laps. Bill Elliott holds the record. We'll ride with Mark Martin today during our TNN coverage in his Valvoline Cummins diesel. Xerox Ford out of the Jack Roush stable. There's the in-car camera and the roof cam on Mark Martin. Let's have a look at the out the rear window cam up and over the spoiler. You'll also be looking out the right side windowsill on Mark's car. And today we'll be in the Western Auto Chevrolet of Darrell Waltrip. He'll be carrying our Goodyear in-car camera today. There's a look at Darrell starting 37th. The prayer on the dashboard, as always. And rear bumper cam, or under the rear bumper cam on Darrell's car. And there's a look at the left rear Goodyear Eagle and suspension. That's a sticker tire, as you can see. And here's a look at the right front of Darrell's Western Auto Chevy. They're going to take one more pace lap before they put them under green here at Rockingham. Bit of debris on the back straightaway is the reason. And also from Darrell's car, you'll be able to watch the race from Darrell's point of view as we show you that suspension cam, both on the left rear and the right front. One to go from starter Doyle Ford. And Darrell is on pit road. Or rather, excuse me, pulled down and made a quick stop there.
What they do there is a lot of times the steering wheel won't be just centered up to suit the driver, and they pull in like that, readjust the steering wheel so it isn't. Well, if you get sideways, you'd like to have some kind of point you can come back to have the wheel straight.
23 Ford Thunderbirds in today's field, 14 Chevrolets, I believe they are all Monte Carlos, no Luminas in today's race, and 5 Pontiac Grand Prix. Base car pulls in again. Jeff Gordon and Ricky Rudd, 2 of the very few cars that did not change driver, paint scheme, sponsor, or something this season.
Ernie, is your hand sweating just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to start the race. Oh, wait a minute.
Get off that golf cart and let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I think this is probably the most exciting part of the race, the first lap. It makes your hair stand up on your neck.
All the people will be standing up and excited.
492 laps, Chevy versus Ford on the front row. And we're under green.
Ricky Rudd got a good start there. Looks like he's ahead of Jeff Gordon coming off turn 2.
Rudd with the lead, Gordon in second, Jeff Bodine in third. The battle is for fourth, side by side. Brett Bodine will lose that spot.
Woohoo. That's a bad sign for a lot of race cars there. The 24 Jeff Gordon just pulled about 3 car lengths in the center of the corner on the lead car of Ricky Rudd.
Derek Cove up to the 4th spot, Brett Bodine in 5th, Ricky Craven is 6th. Lead battle to turn 3. Not this time.
Jeff looked down, but right now it's a little early to make. Well, here he comes on the bottom side. They're side by side coming off turn 4 down the front straightaway.
Ricky led his lap, and he's going to let Jeff go. Jeff was a little faster right now, so it's a long race to go.
But they've each picked up the 5 points for leading a lap. Todd Bodine, Jeff Burton climbing the hill. Moving up the racetrack, here's Earnhardt. Takes it 3 wide under Steve Grissom.
Mike, this is the guy that said he's going to take it easy coming up through there. Earnhardt has never taken it easy.
Easy to say, hard to do.
Yeah.
Earnhardt won here in October to clinch his 7th Winston Cup championship. Bill Elliott up on the high side, Mark Martin getting under.
Yeah, Bill needs to get back down because right now the bottom line is just a little bit quicker. You see he's right back on. Well, he's running a little bit higher than he normally would. That car may be a little bit loose and he's using a lot of racetrack to tighten it up.
Mark Martin uses the bottom of the racetrack to try to get under Bill Elliott. Dale Jarrett, the 28th in tow, and Earnhardt. The usual suspects, but not racing for the lead. Not here because they all missed first-round qualifying.
You can see Bill Elliott definitely running a higher line right now. He's having a little bit of handling problems, or he wouldn't be up there this early, would he, Ernie?
No, that's for sure. You know, obviously his car's not doing just right, but he's going to try to get in a groove that the car wants to run and get to run. And there goes Dale. By the 28 car, Dale Jarrett, and you know, he said he's going to take it easy, but we know he's not going to.
Now let me correct something. Mark Martin was a first-round qualifier. He qualified 19.
Mark.
Oh, Bobby Hamilton.
I see why now. Bobby Hamilton just got around backwards there. He's driving the Richard Petty, number 43.
Will stay green. No caution. Tense moment for Bobby Hamilton at lap 7. Don't see any marks on the corners of the car.
Well, I tell you what now, he's got to try to run along there, and you know those tires are flat-spotted, so they don't handle quite as well when you have that flat spot on part of that race tire.
Let's show you what happened.
Okay, it's you can't tell whether he might have had a little help there from behind. It looked like
Jeff Burton.
Just a gentle touch there can really get you in trouble with this racetrack.
Especially right in the middle of the corner. You know, that's the part where you're you're trying to get up on the throttle. There's another look at it.
All these guys coming by there going, oh, hold her down there. Now he's coming back up, but he was real smart to get it down low again real quick. You see Lake Speed there coming straight at him. He was lucky he got back to the bottom of the racetrack.
I think he was along just riding right then, you know, it's because you don't have much control over it.
Here comes Rusty. Boy, I tell you, Rusty Wallace knows this racetrack. He will make a charge right towards the front.
That's Jeff Burton in the Ray Vestas number 8 right behind Wallace. Bobby Labonte leads this pack. New driver for Joe Gibbs in the Interstate Batteries Chevrolet number 18.
He ran a super great race in Daytona last week and got in trouble right near the end of the race, but he would have been a top 5 car for sure.
And Earnhardt's on his way to right there behind Mark, and he's coming up through the pack.
10 laps have been completed here at the Rock, and Jeff Gordon is holding off Ricky Rudd, who led the first lap. Welcome back to Rockingham, where you see Jeff Gordon's lead from our steel aerial platform. Steel makers of a full line of outdoor power equipment bring you these helicopter-mounted pictures from Jeff Gordon. If you want to be part of today's telecast, call in with your question. We'll pose it to our experts along pit road and to the crews and teams. 1-800, it's a free call, 451-7331. That number will be in operation all throughout today's telecast, so give us a ring here at TNN, and we'll try to get your question on the air.
Boy, that's a great shot right there from the helicopter. Anybody there? That's Darrell Waltrip. He was with us yesterday during the Busch race. Darrell's got the type of patience it takes to run very well here at Rockingham.
Pulling down on Ward Burton, provisional starter in the Hardy Chevrolet.
Right on the white line and right on by.
Look at how much brake they use getting into the corner here.
These are the things you don't see normally, Ernie. We've been looking at this for a couple of years with this camera. Look how hot that rotor gets when they start into the corner. Right now, he's going down the straightaway. He's not on the brake. Right there, he's on the brake. Look at it. Really light up.
Wow, I tell you, that makes me a little nervous. So when I go back racing, I will be a lot easier on my brakes, I think.
The camera's under Darrell Waltrip's Chevrolet.
It's amazing what them brakes do, huh?
Yeah, I tell you. First time I looked at that, I said, I cannot believe there's that much heat generated by using the brake just getting in the corner here. But they're great brakes, and you don't have to worry about them. You can lean on them pretty hard and not expect any trouble.
Yeah.
And Waltrip trying to move toward the front. Started 35th, he's now 33rd. Sterling Marlin had a close call just a bit ago, as the Daytona 500 winner is presently in 14th place. Watch this.
Wow, a little contact there. That was Dick Trickle. He got into the side of him just a little bit. They were both very fortunate to be able to go on and not really spin out there.
Well, let's check with Randy.
Well, I saw him come out of 4. The 4 cars looked like he got sideways. They got together. Rusty Wallace was all over the both of them. So the 15 car looked like Trickle just got a little anxious a little bit. He got a little sideways. He's just checked up a little bit now, just kind of trying to cruise. They got to ride right now. They can't get too impatient.
I tell you, they can't ride much right now because Jeff Gordon is setting such a blistering pace that, I mean, he's already starting to lap cars continuously here, and he's going to be up around that pack.
Yeah, I would agree. Nobody can ride at this stage.
Well, you can't ride. First thing, the spotters up there telling you what Jeff Gordon's doing, and they're telling him he's gaining on them. They better get on it. So these guys are on the move right now.
This battle is at 13th position. Joe Nemechek now driving for his own team with Burger King on his 87 Chevrolet, getting passed by Rusty Wallace and Bobby Labonte. Randy?
Yeah, the point I was trying to make is if their chassis is not right when they start this race, with Trickle, he may be just a tick off. He might have to ride and be patient just a little bit right now because they've not had an opportunity to come on pit road and make a little change. So maybe the cars aren't just perfect. We'll have to wait until they make at least one stop. Sometimes it takes 2 before these guys start narrowing in on the chassis setup.
23 laps complete. That's John Andretti in the Granifus Haas, number 37. Here's your Napa Field standing update brought to you by Napa. We keep America running. Here's how they're running. Sterling there to the inside of Michael Waltrip's Pennzoil Pontiac makes the pass.
I tell you, Sterling Marlin is one of the guys that really runs good here in the race. He doesn't really qualify real good. Me and Tony Glover talked quite a bit. And he said, you know, he said, I've run the same setup that when you used to run the car here, and Sterling's going to be fast in the race, and that's what he was last year, and that's what he is right now. He's coming to the front.
Leader Jeff Gordon on the right side of your screen, coming up into race traffic. That's Robert Presley just ahead in the green skull, number 33. Kenny Wallace, the TIC Financial, number 81.
This is what Ernie was talking about. These are good race cars that are fixing to go a lap down. That Jeff Gordon is really flying around this racetrack. You lose a lap here. Look how fast this car is. He goes to the outside and passes you going in the corner. That takes a little wind out of your sail.
Oh, it does. And it's only lap 26 right now. So this is in 26 laps. He's already starting to lap cars, and good cars. And there's a lot of good cars just right in front of that pack.
Let's take you back to the race for 6th place. Kenny Schrader, the Budweiser number 25 on the left of your screen. That blue and yellow car is the new Lowe's number 11, the Junior Johnson car for Brett Bodine, who qualified 3rd. 41, Craven's old colors, or rather Ricky Craven in Ken Schrader's old colors. That's now the Larry Hedrick team.
I think that's $1,
yeah,
right?
It's $1. Y'all keep track.
Yeah, we will.
Todd Bodine in the 75 of Butch Mock, the factory stores T-Bird. That looks just like it did last year.
Look at Ricky Craven. This boy has so much talent. He's another Jeff Gordon type race car driver. I look for great things out of him. He uses everything on the racetrack to his advantage.
Rusty Wallace is coming right with Sterling, and those two right there have got some of the better race cars going today.
Morgan Shepherd, the Citgo number 21 of the Wood Brothers.
And look who's right behind him. Earnhardt. Yes. Right there.
This is for 7th place on back.
Well, there's sometimes you don't need to say anything. You see Michael Waltrip right there. He's on the bottom part of the racetrack. He's running very well. This whole pack is running very similar to each other, so it's just the guy that gets the preferred line getting in the corner right now.
I was busy holding my breath.
Here goes Sterling by another one, and he's on his way to the front. I don't know if he's going to go to the front with Jeff Gordon in the front, but he's on his way.
We'll talk a little bit later. That car sounds this week just like it did in Daytona. That is very different, a much higher pitch than the other Winston Cup cars out there. We've got some thoughts on that we'll share with you later in today's telecast. From the helicopter.
You see Bobby Labonte in the green car there, the 3rd car in the picture. His smartest move right now is to stay with Earnhardt and those guys and let them weave through traffic and open these holes up. He can make a lot of time. That's what he's trying to do right now. He'll follow them as close as he possibly can.
They work around Loy Allen's lapped car as we've completed 31 laps at Rockingham. Jeff Gordon still out front.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Leader Jeff Gordon pulling down on the spam can, number 9 of Lake Speed.
Yeah, that's him. I tell you, you see this car on the outside passing race cars when they're running the preferred line around the bottom part of this racetrack. That's pure handling ability.
And that's at Rockingham. You got to remember where we're at. I mean, you know, we see guys pass all the time, but here to do it at Rockingham, I mean, this is something to say about the new pavement, Jeff Gordon's race car.
He has a 5.5 second lead. There's Rick Mast, who is the 4th place car. Remember, Mast finished 2nd here last October to Dale Earnhardt. Glenn?
Yes, he did, Mike. A very strong run, as we all remember. This is the same car that he had here last fall when he nearly won the race. He started in 9th position. He's already up to 4th. Slowly but surely closing that gap on Jeff Bodine for 3rd place. The group that I'm looking at right now is the ones we were watching a while ago as they're racing among themselves. That's Wallace, Labonte, Mike Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon is gaining on those guys. He's going to put those cars a lap down if we don't get a caution.
As we look at Rick Mast here, he told me, you cannot believe how happy I am not to be in Daytona anymore. They had 8 engines go south on them down there. I mean, 8 motors. Can you imagine what that does to a budget?
Now here's John Andretti getting moved up out of the bottom lane. Mark Martin takes over the spot from Andretti. This is back at about 15th place.
I tell you, right now, the spotters are telling them, you know, look, the leader's 4 or 5 seconds behind, and you know, we got to stay on this lead lap because we get a lap down now. That's just going to play hectic for him for the rest of the day.
And look who's coming.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, Robert Presley's in the pits right now. He's having some problems this early in the race. Not a good sign.
Engine trouble on Presley's car.
Maybe we can time how far St. Dale Jarrett's behind, or actually Jeff Gordon is behind putting Dale Jarrett a lap down. Maybe we can get us a clock on that.
Ernie, I hate to tell you, it's visible. They're in the same straightaway right now. He's coming like a freight train through here. I hadn't seen a car this well hooked this early in a race in a long time.
Jarrett, Dick Trickle, the new driver for Bud Moore and the Ford Quality Care 15.
You see Dale Jarrett, they're hollering at him, hey, he's right behind you. He's turned up the wick a little bit. He's moved away from that pack of traffic, and he's leading out of here right now. They're all hoping for caution because this car is really flying up on them.
We'll check it on the watch, but it's less than 4 seconds as Darrell Waltrip makes an early pit stop on the back straightaway. All right, there's the 28 of Jarrett. Here's the race leader, Jeff Gordon.
Right there, he's coming right up. I mean, these are good race cars. These are not people that you would expect to go a lap down.
Well, here's a familiar sight. Dale and Rusty and Bobby Labonte doing just as you said, following Earnhardt right up through.
Boy, that's $1 million lesson he's getting right now. He's just the second year in Winston Cup, and he's really getting a good lesson right now from two of the best. As they hit a little bit, getting in the corner there.
Bobby went to stick his nose under there. I didn't want to think he'd want to do that, you know. I tell you, you know, qualifying, that's what's got these other guys into a rut where they got good race cars, Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett, and a lot of the other ones. But right now, when they qualified that bad, that's got them into this rut.
Well, this pack is going to the front. They're up to 10th place. That's where Rusty is as he leads this group. I'll show you how Dale Earnhardt's day has gone. Moved quickly up into the top 20 and now knocking on the door of the top 10. But that 10th place is Wallace in the number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Ford.
Rusty's not going to give that position up very easy either.
Well, you see these 3 cars, and just behind them is Michael Waltrip in the yellow car, the Benzol car, just behind this group. They're all running very well, but they better keep it up because in the same straightaway as Jeff Gordon coming up.
Earnhardt has a look on the outside. Wallace comes up to cover.
Wallace is going to let him by now, it looks like.
Nah, I don't think so. Rusty's kind of like Dale. If you get by him, you earn the spot. You don't just pull over.
Yeah. Well, there's traffic ahead of them, and I think that may be why Wallace is reluctant to relinquish the fast lane. They've got a big pack of traffic that they're coming up on here in just a second, and it's cars running fairly quickly and cars running not so fast.
I'll tell you, the other one we forgot about is Sterling Marlin. He's made a beeline out of that pack. And,
yes, he has. 8th place.
He's got up to 8th place, and he's got a second or 2 ahead of Rusty and Dale.
Marlin, Schrader, and Shepard, 25 and 21, are now posted 7th, 8th, and 9th. With that pack led by Rusty Wallace coming into picture now, 10th on back.
Well, the one thing these guys don't need to do right now with Jeff Gordon coming up like he is, they don't need to race each other. They need to make a pass, get back in line, and run the best line around this racetrack and not give up a lot of time fighting each other.
That's exactly right.
So as the fast cars that qualified out of the top 20 make their way into the top 10, we'll take this break from Rockingham. 48 laps complete in the Goodwrench 500. For more information about Featherlight trailers, call 1-800-800-1230. Featherlight is the official trailer of NASCAR. Speaking of 800 numbers, as Jeff Gordon continues to lap cars going past Randy LaJoie, call in your questions to our telecast toll-free at 1-800-451-7331. One question was about provisional starters. What does it mean when a car's a provisional? Phil from Nebraska wants to know. Well, it means he didn't qualify through time trials. So he takes a car owner's provisional start, available to the top 40 car owners in, as of right now, last year's point standings. So Darrell Walters made another unscheduled pit stop. You see him there 3 laps down as you look at the position of past winners at Rockingham.
Mike, he's got a lot of problems here. He talked to you yesterday, and he told you he didn't think much of the chassis on this race car, and he's having a lot of problems today.
Randy LaJoie and John Andretti have just made pit stops. Down in the lower right of your screen, you see the left rear tire on Walter's
Yellow
car.
flag.
And in the wall is Lake Speed. in the Harry Melling Spam number 9. This will be the first caution of the day, and a very bad break for Randy LaJoie and John Andretti, who were making pit stops at the time of the caution. They may lose yet another lap.
But a good break for a lot of the guys that were in a process of maybe going some laps down.
Especially cars like Dale Jarrett, Bill Elliott, and Brett Bodine.
Well, you can see Lake Speed moving around. He seems to be okay. That's a really bad break for Lake. He's trying to do well in this car.
Ted Musgrave, who had his best career finish last week at Daytona, apparently got involved in that one as well. Lake Speed has climbed out. He is okay. There's a look at where he ended up, and you see the skid marks coming off the inside retaining wall.
Well, if you get in trouble coming off 2 over there, one thing about it, it's elevated. It's a lot of bank on the back straightaway there, and the one place you do end up is the inside wall. He hit it and bounced back out this far off the wall.
Leaders are on pit road, led by Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Bodine, and Rick Mast, and Todd Bodine.
We'll see how many positions Dale and Rusty can get on pit road.
All right, here's our triple split screen. With the entire pit road, there you see Earnhardt coming in on the right. Jeff Gordon up top, Ricky Rudd, who came into the pit second, in the middle, and Jeff Bodine, who was third at the time of the caution. And Rudd's going to be first out. Good stop by Billy Engel and the Tide crew, but look at Gordon.
Man,
pit position. Pit position saved the day right there for Jeff Gordon. Let's show you what happened to Lake Speed, if we can.
Oh, he's in the outside wall there. You see Musgraves, he got him as he was coming off the wall, it looked like. Right here, he hits the wall, bounces back out.
A lot of skid marks coming off turn 2 from various incidents throughout the weekend. So Lake Speed, the former world karting champ and former Darlington Winston Cup winner, ends up bringing out the first caution of the day. And as they hook Lake up to the wrecker, we'll take this break from the North Carolina Motor Speedway. We'll be right back. Next Saturday, TNN, the network that brings you more Busch Grand National Racing live than everybody else combined. It goes to Richmond, Virginia for the Hardee's Frisco 250. You'll see that at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, live on the Nashville Network. Here's Glenn.
Mike, an excellent pit stop for Jeff Gordon and his crew. The only thing unusual, they gave Jeff a couple of ice packs to pack around his neck, getting a little warm out there. Dale Earnhardt, routine 4-tire stop, no changes, no adjustments. Also, Derek Cope's crew made the biggest adjustment. He had dropped way back in the field. The car was big time loose. Randy?
Well, we're back here. Ted Musgrave working on his own car, involved in that wreck. I counted 16 guys working on the Family Channel Ford. Looks like some heavy right front damage as well. They're changing some shocks. A bunch of stuff to do on this car. But as far as the pit stops go, I was up the end with Sterling Marlin and Todd Bodine and Bobby Labonte, and very few wedge adjustments. So evidently these guys are just doing a lot with tire pressure. The guys are calling in and they're saying, let's just work with a pound or 2 of air. I saw very few wedge wrenches going in.
1 to go. Earlier this week, the late Speedway president Frank Wilson was honored with the naming of a road in his name.
Let's give a round of applause for the honor and memory of the late Frank C. Wilson. This is the Frank C. Wilson Highway from here to Hamlet, Highway 74 at this time.
Frank would never believe this. I thank you all.
And there is Route 177, which joins US 1 just north of the Speedway and runs down toward the town of Hamlet. A very fitting honor for a man who did a lot for stock car racing and the economy in this community as Speedway president. Here's how they're running as we get ready to go back to green after this first caution of the day, brought out by Lake Speed in a collision with Ted Musgrave. Now, Joe Nemechek in number 87 is on the tail end of the lead lap. That's why he's starting out in front of Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, and Dale Earnhardt, the first 3 cars, rather, Rick Mast, the first 3 cars off pit road.
Well, it's pretty easy to see. Nemechek really needs to run like crazy right now to keep him going a lap down, but I think he's in a lot of trouble because that 24 car of Jeff Gordon's is flying around this racetrack.
So does Jimmy Spencer. Smoky Joe's number 23. who may get overhauled right here. Nope, Spencer's going to stay on the tail end of the lead lap.
I was just fixing to say, Jimmy Spencer's not a piece of cake to pass, is he, Ernie?
No, he's not at all. And, you know, Jimmy's a good racer. He just got to buy his time right now, and Gordon's really working on him.
And number 23 in purple, yellow, and green is Spencer. Here comes Gordon trying to put Spencer back one lap down in Travis Carter's machine.
Boy, what a power move. It's been a long time since I've seen race cars as good as Jimmy Spencer's get past on the outside going in the corner.
Especially here at Rockingham. I mean, that's what I keep saying. It's normally you just don't go in very good at Rockingham, but here comes Ricky Rudd on to pass Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, and he'll try the bottom instead of the high side.
Well, that would have been my choice going by. You see Kyle Petty there on the with the silver and blue car on the inside there. He's one lap down already. He's trying to get back in the lead lap. And just behind him is Rick Master, who's really running a good race today. He's showing third place right now.
I tell you, this is the same Kyle Petty, the same Kyle Petty's car that dominated here at Rockingham for a couple of years. And it's like nobody knew what he was doing. And obviously they might have forgot too.
Well, they had sold that car and built new cars for Kyle Petty. And they bought it back, understand, out of a field in Iowa, not the Field of Dreams. Sandblasted it, put it all back together to run here at Rockingham, see if they could find some of that magic once again. Here's Earnhardt, Jeff Bodine, and Rusty Wallace. 4th, 5th, and 6th place.
Now, Earnhardt got ahead of Rusty Wallace in the pit, so that being on the end of pit road is a great advantage that the champion gets. I don't care what anybody says, that gives him an advantage. Every time they stop, he always gets out first.
That's for sure. And, you know, it's something that I think NASCAR's been looking at as far as giving that spot to the champion. You know, Jimmy Spencer's going to pull right over for Dale Earnhardt, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, you want to bet on that one.
And cows fly.
Yeah.
Jeff Bodine there in the number 7. He's running a good race right now. I think he's showing 5th on the field, and really he's running a good conservative race. Look at Ricky Rudd showing a little muscle here. He's moved up on Jeff Gordon.
Look at Kyle Petty. He's staying right there with him and trying to get his lap back.
For the lead, Ricky Rudd in the tied Ford number 10.
Boy, sometimes he changed just a little bit on the pit stop. I imagine Gordon made one little tire change, maybe a pound of air here or a pound of air there. He's not hooked up quite as well as he was just before this stop.
No, he's not. You know, it could be just a different set of tires. It's a little bit different. So, you know, we're going to keep seeing that all day, but obviously his car is real good. Ricky Rudd, he's been good too.
No doubt in my mind, the fastest car on the field right now is Kyle Petty in that Field of Dreams car.
If it's not Rick Mast, who just caught that pack as they battled side by side.
Good eyes, good eyes.
Yeah, look who's right behind that crowd and coming.
Todd Bodine moves right into 5th place now. This boy drives his heart out. It does not matter. And you can bet on one thing, here at Rockingham or Dover, he's always a packer.
Here comes Sterling Marlin. Sterling was just passing Rusty, and he had lost a little bit in the pits, and he's on his way back up to the lead pack.
See, I'm having trouble telling Rick Mast's car from Bobby Labonte's. Two black and green machines. At a distance, it looked very similar.
Mike, the 18 car has half the car is green. The number 1 car has a little bit of green on the door and the top.
Thank you, Professor Baker.
Yeah, and he did that with 2 eyes.
Yeah. There's Dale Jarrett in the 28, 14th place.
That's Steve Kinzer around the bottom of the racetrack in the 26th car there. The main thing he wants to do today is get 500 good miles under his belt. So he'll have something that, you know, to fall back on. Knowledge is something that takes a lot of time to get.
No substitute for seat time.
I don't think that Kinzer's going to get 500 miles here today, but
he might get about 480 or 485.
But he's doing a good job. But here, Earnhardt just got by Rick Maston on his way to the front. It took a little more than my 20 laps that I thought he could do it in.
Yeah, you were extremely generous to give him 20 whole laps, Ernie.
Well, you know.
You see the 4th car in the picture right there. That's Earnhardt. He's really on the move right now. He's moving in on the leaders as I speak.
Let's go to the leader's pit. Here's Glenn.
Well, let's find out. Ray, he doesn't seem to be quite as dominant as he was early on. Have you got him backing off or a different set of tires slowed it down? What's the situation?
Well, it just got a little bit loose. We're just going to have to try and experiment. We knew we were going to be better at some times than others, but we just got to ride for the end of the day.
Well, you told me earlier on that the biggest thing you had to overcome was your guys beating yourself.
Well, yeah, the only way you can succeed in this business is to pay your dues, and we're only 2 years old, and we got a lot of dues to pay yet.
We got an 800 viewer calling in, wants to know, how is your son doing?
My son's doing great. He's probably terrorizing the people in the camper area right now.
Third place car is Earnhardt there. He's getting under Kyle Petty. You see Kyle Petty was racing hard. He sees he can't make up his lap. He moved over and let the guys go at it. They're fighting for position right now.
Gordon the leader. There's Ricky Rudd. Second car in line is second. Earnhardt is third. Rick Mast is now fourth. Give a call to Morgan Shepherd, who's moved up into the fifth position ahead of Jeff Bodine and Bobby Labonte.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by Pep Boys Automotive Center.
Well, last year in October, oh, big trouble. Sterling Marlin.
What a great catch.
Shades of Earnhardt at Rockingham.
Is that great driving or luck, Ernie?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
that was a lot of luck.
I was about to say last October, Earnhardt started 20th, and it took him 173 laps to get to the front. Today, it took Dale Earnhardt 84 laps to come from 24th to the front. He is leading this race. And here's how he did it.
Well, you can see how much racetrack Jeff Gordon's having to use with the car being loose. He had to go higher. Earnhardt gets under him, just goes right on by.
84 laps from 24th to the lead. And a great pit stop in the middle there.
Oh, looks like he may have a little help there, Ernie.
I think I'm looking at who that was.
Kyle Petty.
Kyle Petty. Might have.
Look at Bobby Labonte. Wow, he was close to hitting him. Woof.
All right, pit stops. Here's Glenn.
Andy Petrie goes to the right front tire. Andy told me right before they stopped that everything seemed to be okay. Dale really doesn't say a whole lot. They still don't plan on making any chassis adjustments. This will be a routine 4-tire stop. They got the left side up now. They're getting that done, and now Randy is in the 10 car.
John Bryant drops the jack of the 10 car. The Tide machine gets out in front of Rusty Wallace and the 21 car of Morgan Shepherd. No chassis adjustments for Ricky Rudd that I could see.
That's 2 really fast pit stops for Ricky Rudd. It'll get him to second place. There's Sterling Marlin. You see some tire marks on the right side from some scuff, battle, or other.
You know, one person that really did a great job there was Joe Nemechek. He jumped out in front of that group and pulled almost a full turn ahead of everybody. Now he's back in the lead lap in good condition.
He was definitely running as faster than the leaders.
So after pit stops, it's Earnhardt, Rudd, Mast, Gordon, and Shepherd. We'll check that order for you when we come back. Power equipment with qualities you can depend on in steel territory. Bringing you these helicopter-mounted pictures of the North Carolina Motor Speedway. That's the tunnel underneath turn 4. And you see they have realigned 2 of the top 3 cars after pit stops. NASCAR ruling that Jeff Gordon beat Ricky Rudd out of the pits. Look at how close they were at the stripe at the end of pit road.
3 inches?
If that. So Gordon moves up to second spot behind Earnhardt. Ricky Rudd is third. Rusty Wallace fourth. Fifth is Morgan Shepherd. Sixth, Jeff Bodine. Seventh is Rick Mast after pit stops. Eighth is Bobby Labonte. Ninth is Mark Martin. And 10th is Dale Jarrett. And you can see how little time it took Earnhardt to come from 24th starting spot to the front. Ron from Washington called in. There's a half a spring rubber out there on the racetrack. He's fixing up an 84 Olds Cutlass, and he wants to know if he'd get into copyright trouble if he decorated like somebody's race car.
I can't see how. I mean, I see the things. I've seen ice cream wagons that were painted like Jeff Gordon's car. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
In fact, some of the sponsors make the same decals used on the race cars available for purchase. I know at the GM dealerships, the dealers can buy decals to decorate a car just like Dale Earnhardt's.
I'm not
Tire
real sure
mark's
on
not
that.
included.
Tire mark's not included. We're getting ready to go green.
Here we go.
Here we are.
23 cars on the lead lap.
Kyle Petty trying to get that lap back.
Yeah.
He's in the corner really good. I believe he might have, well, I don't know. Here comes Earnhardt on the outside. Nothing's easy in this business.
No.
Kyle is wearing a head and neck support system developed by road racer Jim Downing. Dr. Iolani out of Raleigh, North Carolina, that attaches to the helmet, mounts over the shoulders, designed to prevent fatigue and prevent serious injuries. The first Winston Cup driver to try that system, and if we can, we'll try to show it to you before we go off the air today. But it's quite an innovation. It's worked well in road racing. Downing and Paul Newman use it, among others.
Well, for the moment, you see that Kyle Petty's got his lap back now. He's in the lead lap. He would like to see a little caution right now so he could get back in contention.
And another...
Whoa, we got a wreck in turn 4.
Everybody.
I will never say that again, folks.
Rick Mast was up there. Second car involved. And we're back under caution quickly.
Boy, I won't say anything about a caution anymore. Because
there's Kenny Wallace, who was the second car involved, the Phil Martossi TIC Financial 81. That whole back panel made of fiberglass or a plastic, and it comes off pretty easily.
There's
all in
a
one
bad
chunk.
sight. That's Rick Mast, and he's been running so well.
I think he's the one that had the biggest problem.
Here's what happened. It's Mast on the outside. Oops.
He got loose there. That was Kenny got loose there on the bottom.
Yeah.
Kenny was contacted from behind by Jimmy Spencer.
He's backing up the racetrack. You see everybody trying to avoid the accident. Very lucky it didn't take out more cars.
Not for Rick Mast. And Kyle Petty made his lap up.
That's right, yeah. I didn't mean to get so excited, but we were all talking, and I saw that wreck happening.
Okay, you see right here, the 81 car is on the inside of the 40 car. He just gets sideways. There was no contact.
Spencer missed him.
No.
Okay, corrected.
I mean, Jimmy gets blamed for enough, so, you know.
No,
he needs
wasn't trying to blame him. We don't put blame.
Well, I didn't blame nobody, yeah. But no, Kenny got loose.
But
and,
it did look like contact. Glad to show that there was not. So we'll take this break from the North Carolina Motor Speedway, where Dale Earnhardt leads and Kyle Petty is now back on the lead lap. Welcome back to Rockingham. We have a couple more angles on the incident that began with Kenny Wallace. And there's Greg Sachs up high in Wallace 81.
Boy, oh boy, Bobby Labonte dodged another bullet in the green car going through there. Mark Martin got struck in the side there. I didn't see the accident where he got hit, but he got hit pretty hard in the left side.
You'll see it here.
Okay, that's Dale Jarrett going by on the inside.
You know those cheese slicers that just catch the edge and just like take a slice off as you go by?
Let's look at Mark's damage here. That's in front of the rear wheel there. I don't see a lot of damage to the car.
Yeah, luckily it didn't get the exhaust pipes, and it doesn't seem to be hurting it. Luckily, one thing he had to do is he had to quit not going high because the car was coming off Rick Mast, and then also Kenny Wallace was coming from the bottom side, so he was a sandwich.
While we're under caution, there's a lot of talk at Daytona about the sound coming from the winning car of the Daytona 500, that of Sterling Marlin. So Glenn investigated what's up with that strange sound.
For the last 2 weeks, if you close your eyes and listen as Sterling Marlin drove by, you'd visualize an Indy car, not a stock car. How can that be? Well, engine builder Runt Pittman isn't telling.
No.
So we thought we'd ask a fellow Chevy engine builder to solve the mystery.
You've got the 180 headers, which I heard a comment about, maybe they're using that. Then you can also, in the tailpipes, have a crossover pipe. You can leave that out, that changes the sound. You can tune the headers, equal lengths. That makes a different sound. Different sizes, whether you have step headers, you can go either way. And a lot of things you can do with the tailpipe. So who really knows, other than those boys, what they've really done?
Well, maybe a Ford engine builder might know.
I've got an exhaust system development program that we've started to go back and see what impact a little bit of a plenum will have in the collectors forward to the tailpipe. I think it's pretty obvious that they've added some volume to their
to their exhaust system, and whether or not they've got a benefit from it is unknown, but it sure does make it sound different.
The Peerless Faucet Innovation in Motion Award brought to you by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water. We're about to hear that sound again as they come up to full song for the restart here at Rockingham. We'll begin lap 99 under green. Earnhardt up on the high side. That's Jimmy Hensley, second in line. In the active racing, number 32.
Just got that ride this weekend, too.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Replacing Mike Chase, who failed to qualify at Daytona and posted a not so impressive speed here at the Rock. Hensley did get the car handily into the field yesterday. And a tough break for Mike Chase, who hopefully will have another shot at the senior circuit here.
Oh, definitely. You know, Mike's a good driver. He's a Winston West champion from last year, and you know, he's a good driver. It's just, man, everybody's got to perform today.
Looks like Jeff Gordon's got his car handling well again on the bottom part of the racetrack. He's coming up under Jimmy Hensley down the front straightaway. He's now in second place on the screen there. Right behind him is Ricky Rudd in third place.
Down on the apron was Ted Musgrave, coming back in the race out from the garage area. Big pack of cars here. Rusty Wallace smack in the middle of it behind Morgan Shepherd, trying to move up and around Jimmy Spencer, and that's Greg Sachs in the Kendall number 40.
Boy, I'll tell you, this is good racing here. These cameras are in such a way that it almost makes you want to jump in there and go again, don't it, Ernie?
Yeah, I definitely do, buddy. Now, that's the main thing. Do you want to jump in there and go again?
No, I'd rather talk about it. I'm doing what I like.
Jeff Bodine is now linked up with Rusty Wallace. And with Bobby Labonte in the green and black number 18 right behind them. And Musgrave straight back to the garage.
Yeah, that car had a lot of damage from that wreck on the back straightaway a while ago. He decided to go in and fix it before they go on. That's Jeff Bodine going on the outside, going in turn 3 there, trying to get by Jimmy Spencer.
Let's go to the garage. Here's Randy.
Well, Rick Mast was running well and working hard. Now the crew is working hard on the car. Rick, it's going to be tough getting back out there. What happened? How'd you see it?
Well, you know, we were just kind of trying to bide our time. The car was as good or better than it was last fall when we run second. We had a little slower pit stop, you know, got behind some cars, but we went back to green. 2 of those slower cars got together or something up there to 3. The guy got crossed up and he just turned right straight up the racetrack into me, knocked me into the wall and messed the car up. So it's one of those deals.
Besides being dejected, you okay?
I'll be all right by Wednesday. My neck's a little stiff right now.
Rick Mast out of the race. One of the replay angles showed there might have been a slight bit of contact between his car and that of Greg Sachs. Not Jimmy Spencer, as erroneously said at first. Terry Labonte moving on up there in the Kellogg's number 5. He's going to crack into the top 10 here in 11th place. There's Mark Martin looking back at Kenny Schrader.
Kenny's been very quiet today, but he's been right up front all the way, and this is his kind of racetrack, I think.
It really is. This is one of the places Kenny runs good at. Every week he runs good here, and whenever he's there, he's usually a good top 5 runner.
Now, just ahead of Schrader is Mark Martin with that dented-in left side. Let's find out from Mark's pit how bad that damage is. Glenn?
Mike's crew chief Steve Mill putting the clock on him each and every lap. Steve, some left side damage there. Is it affecting the way the car drives?
Not really. We're doing pretty good. We were nervous it was going to rub the left rear, so Mark's taking it easy right now until we get a caution or make another pit stop. It doesn't appear as though it's rubbing. We're just kind of riding along right now.
Are aerodynamics so important here at Rockingham?
When we have bad aerodynamics, we'll complain about it. When they're real good, we say it don't make any difference. So we're going to be okay.
Boy, what an answer. Somebody explain that.
Instead, let's go to 4th place. Morgan Shepherd and Rusty Wallace side by side. Jeff Bodine right with him. This is for 4th place. Turn 1.
Bobby Labonte in the green and black car there. He's trying to get under Morgan Shepherd as we speak. They're coming out of the corner. Morgan's he's doing a real smart thing there. He rolled out the throttle.
Dale Jarrett dropping to the inside right at the end of that pack. And Rusty pulls him off the corner. Here's Randy.
Well, I went and checked with Rusty's team. His crew chief, Robin Pemberton, said right around that last caution, I went and found out it takes about 15 laps for Rusty for those tires to finally come in. I asked him if there was anything they could do to help get that speed a little bit quicker. No, there's nothing they can do. That's the way the chassis is. They're hoping for some long green flag runs. We haven't had too many of them yet.
Thanks, Randy. Let's look at those cars battling from 4th on back. Wallace in the 2, Jeff Bodine in the 7. Let's go back up front. Here is Earnhardt with the lead. Took him some 84 laps to get to the front. Here's the gap he has on Jeff Gordon as they work around Lake Speed.
I was noticing it seems that Jeff Gordon can pull down on Earnhardt until they run into traffic. Earnhardt seems to get through heavy traffic a little bit faster than Gordon does.
I tell you, that could be a lot of experience. You know what I mean? It's something you can't buy, and Dale Earnhardt's got a lot of it. Jeff Gordon's getting a lot of it.
All right, let's show you the interval back. Here is Earnhardt, the leader, and Jeff Gordon going off into the corner, then Ricky Rudd, the 3rd place car. Rusty Wallace and the rest of that pack battling for 4th, so they're not too spread out.
You see Jeff Bodine in the 7 car there following Rusty Wallace down the front straightaway. Last year, everybody was talking about he's running well because he was running Hoosier tires. Well, there's no Hoosier tires, and he's still running well. Quite a good race car driver.
And he's pretty well locked on to Wallace as those two try to work their way to the front.
He's getting around this racetrack, and he knows how to adjust his car as he goes along. He'll get better as the day goes.
I haven't had much chance to ask him how the bobsled team is doing this year, but I know Bob Cuneo and the engineers have spent a lot of this winter in Europe with the team that Jeff continues to back.
Well, just behind this group, Bobby Labonte's right behind this group here. He's running super well also.
800-451-7331 is our toll-free number. If you've got a question to pass along to anybody on pit road or for the folks here in the booth to talk about during today's broadcast, we'll try to get them answered for you.
Every time Sterling Marlin's car goes by, I mean, you don't even have to see it. You just hear it. And it's pretty neat. You know, it's a different sound.
I'd say that sound's worth 2/10 a lap, wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, I would clock my watch quicker just because of that. You know?
Well, we had a few other reasons why it makes that sound. Perhaps we'll share them with you later in the telecast. Ron Pittman was telling everybody it's 140-degree headers.
What in the world is that?
Tony Glover was saying that.
Nobody knows what that is. And Runt wants to keep it that way.
I tell you, every time they take the motor out of that car, they put a cover over it.
Would you?
Well, yeah, they won't let anybody see what the deal is. Now, I asked Robert Yates, and he told me that, I can't really tell you what he told me, because then everybody else will kind of know what he thinks. But kind of a thing, yeah. Okay. I shouldn't have brought that up.
No, you shouldn't. Now here's something special for you Winston Cup fans, a limited edition collection of fine watches from Wittenauer, featuring your favorite drivers. And look now at the Speed Star collection. Easy to use and durable steel power equipment. Bringing you these pictures from up above the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Lapping Steve Kinzer, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon, who is closing back in.
He's closing in, but he told Dale Jarrett just a little while ago, the guy in the pits told him they're still experiencing a little bit of looseness. If he's running this well with the problem with the handling, Dale might be in trouble later on.
Roland from New Hampshire wants to know how many brothers are in today's race. There are 3 Wallaces, 3 Bodines, 2 Burtons, 2 Waltrips, and 2 Labontes. Older brother Terry and younger brother Bobby. That's Terry in the number 5 Kellogg's car.
Speaking of which, he's probably the best slick track driver I've ever watched. He knows how to roll back in the throttle, keep that car right on the white line through the corner. What a race car driver. You can always count on him later on in the race, always coming up in front.
But he may be at a little bit of a disadvantage here, buddy, in that there are not enough pit spaces on the front stretch to accommodate all the teams. So some of the teams, I believe 18 of them, have to pit on the back stretch, 24 on the front stretch. Labonte is one of those teams that didn't qualify well enough to pit on the front stretch, and he...
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the right parts at the right price.
As Jeff Gordon closes in on Dale Earnhardt for the lead. Here at Rockingham, 129 complete. Stay with us for the moment. We will get Terry Labonte's comments in just a minute here about pitting on the back straightaway. But let's see first if Jeff Gordon can wrest the lead from Dale Earnhardt.
I tell you, Jeff Gordon's car from the middle of the straightaway to the corner pulls Dale Earnhardt's car by a car and a half. It's amazing how much power he's got.
Ernie, you've run many a mile against the Hendricks race team, and they have a lot of horsepower in these cars. I'll tell you that.
Let's check with Glenn.
Well, guys, I asked Ray Evernham, we reported that Jeff had a little bit of a loose condition a while ago. They've made a pit stop since then. I asked him what the car was doing now. He said it was still just a little bit loose. And I said, well, Ray, what else do you need to do to it? He says, well, we just need for a couple of hours to pass.
I think he's getting an answer to that right now. Here comes Jeff Gordon up under Earnhardt, getting in the corner. A lot of respect between these two guys. There's one of the old veterans and one of the youngest guys on the racetrack, 23 years old. He's living up to the measure right now, Dale Earnhardt.
I tell you, Earnhardt's car, I think, is even looser than Jeff Gordon's right now. So he's not able to do what he's wanting to do with it. Obviously, he's leading the race, and Ricky Rudd's starting to come back on him. And, I think it's going to be a three-car battle here in a little bit.
Now, Earnhardt, one thing he'll do, he'll look in the mirror and see that Jeff Gordon's making a move on the outside or on the inside, and all of a sudden, that's where he wants to run, too.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I got a little looser. Yeah.
Yeah. Here comes Gordon on the outside. If he makes this stick, it'll take a little wind out of the three-car, I promise you that.
He's got it.
And here comes Rudd as well.
Boy, I tell you, that's power. I mean, that's not just power. That's handling right there. He made that move stick on the outside. That's really saying something for the chassis on that race car also.
And you mentioned Terry Labonte. Remember New Hampshire last year. Ricky Rudd is the other top slick track driver in NASCAR.
Oh, I think so. Between the 5-car there of Terry Labonte and Ricky Rudd, those two guys really know how to pick the throttle up. I'd take those two guys on any slick track and put them up against anybody.
Well, once again, let's try to get Terry Labonte's comments on what makes it so difficult when you have to pit on the backstretch here at Rockingham.
Well, what happens, the caution car opens pit road, and so when he comes by the front straightaway, that opens the front pit, and all the cars in the lead lap get the pit there first. Then the caution car goes around the back straightaway and opens the back pit. And so if you're running, it doesn't matter where you're running, you're going to come out behind all the guys in the front straightaway. The caution car just doesn't go fast enough.
So Labonte holds off Dale Jarrett for 9th place as they lap past Michael Waltrip.
Michael must be having trouble. He was running in the top 10 just a few minutes ago, and all of a sudden he's a lap down. So he must be having some kind of trouble with that race car.
He must have dropped a cylinder or something is what I'd probably bet on. If I was a betting man.
Oh, if you were a betting man, I think a race car driver is a betting man every weekend.
Back off turn 4, Jeff Bodine. Right behind him, Jimmy Hensley, the 32, and Sterling Marlin.
You heard him just go by. That thing's got a scream in it. It's so different from every other race car. I know we're beating us to death right now, but it sounds like an Indy car when it goes by the front straightaway.
Yeah, lots of reasons.
I tell you, the people that aren't here just can't even imagine it. It just sounds really neat. It's like an Indy car racing in a Winston Cup race.
Let's get down to Dale Earnhardt's pit. Here's Glenn.
With crew chief Andy Petrie. And Andy, the car looks like it's off just a little bit. Is it loose?
Yeah, we're a little bit loose after a long run here. Looks like a little more tire wear on the right rear. Probably gauge just how hard he can run early here, so he'll know how long he can run hard.
We also got a report from Gordon's crew chief that he was loose too. Is it because of the heat conditions?
Well, I think so, and I think track conditions have changed last time we were here. So we'll try to deal with it and see how we do.
You can bet your bottom dollar that they'll know what to do.
Earnhardt runs in 2nd, Jeff Gordon. Dale Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd. 4th place, Rusty Wallace. And 5th place, Bobby Labonte. Must be the family trait, running well on slick racetracks.
Bobby Labonte has run well since he got in this 18 car, and I don't see him not winning a race this year. I think he'll win a race this year.
Now see inside Mark Martin's car. Trouble. Davy Jones.
He has hit the wall.
The IMSA racer has shortened up his US Air Jasper engines T-Bird. And we do get a caution. Fourth caution of the day comes out of lap 143. And that caution will save Dick Trickle and Ricky Craven, along with Derek Cope and Steve Grissom, from going a lap down.
Well, that car is really hurt there. The right front's tore up, the back of the car is torn up. He hit on the outside and inside, it looks like.
A lot of damage to the right rear.
We have a replay. Oh, Jeff got into him just a little bit getting in the corner there. Around comes the car. Right rear hits. Now the right front will go into the wall. Now here's the dangerous part. He really does not have any steering to speak of. And you see Dale Jarrett coming by on the inside there. Very lucky to keep it up high.
Pit stops, Glenn Jarrett.
And Dale Earnhardt once again brings the number 3 Goodwrench Chevrolet in. Andy Petrie and Richard Childress were talking about making a chassis adjustment. I never did see them agree on exactly what they were going to do. I think they're going to try to do it with air pressure. I don't think you'll see a wrench to the chassis right now. Andy is on the left front. No, they did not make a chassis adjustment. They must have tried to do it with air pressure.
Whoa, Wallace gets out number 1.
Well, Rusty had the fastest pit stop. You see that line at the bottom of the screen. That's where NASCAR determines who exits the pits first. Right at that line at the bottom of your screen, there's an official. Jimmy Cox stands there with the lollipop stop and go sign. There's Jimmy in the lower right of your screen. Nice shot. And he decides who gets to that line first and how they line up on the restart.
I think Earnhardt's challenged him just a little bit. He pulled up beside Rusty down the back straightaway. I don't know who got there first.
Let's sort it out when we come back. 145 laps. We are under caution for the 4th time today. There is a bit of discussion as to who got out of pit road first. Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt ran 2 laps side by side, and perhaps a little more than just wheel to wheel.
Okay, this white line right there, whoever gets there first is the one that leaves first. Earnhardt is definitely there first.
And there you see the advantage of having that last pit. And Earnhardt, as Winston Cup champion, has his first pick of pit position at every race. And Ernie, I agree with you. It's kind of like if you're the World Series champion, you get 4 strikes instead of just 3. It won't help you every time. And certainly they have to have fast pit stops to be able to do that. Don't take anything away from that crew. It won't help you every time, but sometimes it will help you a bunch.
I think it's something that NASCAR needs to do because, you know, it's not fair to give a Winston Cup champion an advantage to compete again next year.
Let's go to Randy Pemberton with today's AutoZone Tech Fact.
I tell you, pit stops have become so important over the last few years, and it's the Jackman. This car goes nowhere until the Jackman drops it. This is Jeff Clark. He is the Jackman for the 28 Haviland 14 that Dale Jarrett now drives for. Hey, what about these jacks? We watch you now. They have come so far. It used to be us that jacked these cars about 4 times. It's a one pump, basically, a jack now.
Yes, the Pace Jack here is a one pump jack. It's come out past year and a half. All the crew members are into the one pump jacks, be more competitive. You're racing as hard on pit road as you are on the racetrack.
We are back under green. Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace lead them off into the corner.
We've seen that before, haven't we?
Oh, yes.
See Jeff Gordon on the outside there. He got a pretty bad start there. He dropped back about 4 or 5 car lengths on the restarter. He wasn't quite ready. Yellow is back out again. I don't see any reason for it, but
they'll run to the flag. Wallace has not yet led a lap today. Will he lead this one? No.
I don't think he led a lap at Daytona either.
Debris on the track. And remember, Rusty came in here many points behind after that wreck at Daytona. And just to finish up, I think the thinking here on this pit stall position is that the picking of pit stalls, the people who oppose the present rule, is that it should be determined by what happens at this racetrack this weekend and not merely a benefit for something that happened a season ago. Certainly, there are differences of opinion up and down pit road and throughout officialdom. The rule is the way it is, so we'll all live with it, go on and get along and continue on in the season the way things are. Looking for debris on the racetrack as they waved off the start, and once again they get 1 to go as the track truck pulls up here at the start-finish line. Earnhardt the leader. Now here's Mark Martin. You see Mark hard at work, and the question called in by Cliff from Seattle is, since the Winston Cup cars can't use side-mounted rear view mirrors, why don't they use like a panoramic mirror? And on the right side, you'll see that some of the cars now have just that.
They can use side-mounted rear view mirrors. It's not a rule against it. So they're allowed to run whatever mirror you want to run.
But there you see Mark's rear view mirror has quite a panoramic view. It's not a flat panel mirror anymore.
Well, you can see there's about 5 or 6 panels there, and they're offset where you can really pick up all the way around the car pretty much by looking in that one mirror.
Well, I think, buddy, what the deal is, they used to run like a wink mirror. Now they actually concave, or I don't know what the actual shape would actually be, but the mirror sticks out a little more in the middle.
This sticks out. The green flag's fixing to fly.
Let's get back at it. On the restart. Earnhardt.
Oh.
Did he and Brett Bodine get together? Yes,
yeah.
they did twice.
Oh, that stacked them up almost. I'll tell you what. Brett, you better go, son. Here comes Earnhardt. I guarantee you he'll be on the bottom side. I'd say I would like to be a car length behind Earnhardt going in this corner. Which he was.
Brett Bodine was trying to get back on the lead lap.
I think, is Brett more than 1 lap down?
No, 1 lap down. Let's show you that one again while you're catching your breath.
Okay, Brett, he's as far down as he needs to be. It looked like Earnhardt just forgot that he was down there and maybe cut in just a little bit, because I didn't see Brett's car ever vary. He was going the same angle.
Yeah, that was probably more Dale's turning down.
Rusty tried to get up there and then thought better of it. Earnhardt out in front of the pack. Brett Bodine splits him from second place. Rusty Wallace in the 2 car. Then Jeff Gordon in 3rd. Ricky Rudd in 4th. Bobby Labonte in 5th. Where are the drivers who have won this race? Earnhardt in front. Wallace in 2nd. Labonte in 8th. Kyle in 12th. Elliott 13th. Old DW having a tough day.
Well, I tell you, when it's bad, it's really bad. He's 51 laps down right now. But I guarantee you this is not a happy day for Mr. Walker.
I tell you, when we were at church last night, Darrell wanted to swap with me. He wanted me to go out and drive and him come up here and do the commentating.
Well, I think he had more fun yesterday up here with us than he's having right now.
That's for sure.
Although a bad day in the race car beats a good day at work.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Looking at Rusty Wallace there, Jeff Gordon is really working him over on the outside. I almost got Jeff in trouble then. He got a little sideways. He's losing several positions here.
And here comes Bobby Labonte as well, underneath Gordon.
Well, I'm really impressed with the way Bobby has really got with this race team, and they're really gelling this early in the year. It's hard to take a team for the first time and run this well.
Look at these 2 youngsters go at it here. Now, there's Earnhardt and Wallace up front, Ricky Rudd in 3rd, but you got Gordon and Labonte battling. If Jeff Gordon is the next Dale Earnhardt, as some people say, then I think Bobby Labonte is the next David Pearson. He's a smart heads-up race driver. Doesn't charge to the front, but he's going to be there.
I've talked to Bobby Labonte. He don't talk as fast as Pearson, so...
He drives as fast.
I guarantee you, this kid's got a lot on the ball right here. He's good as his brother was at the same time in their careers, so I think he's got a great future in this race.
That's Labonte now in the Joe Gibbs number 18, the Interstate Batteries Chevy. There's Brett Bodine, Greg Sachs, and Morgan Shepherd, who's having a great run here in 6th place in the Wood Brothers Citgo 4. We'll be right back. We're under caution for the 6th time. We'll show you why in a moment. First, let's have pit stops. Glenn?
Well, I meant between Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, we got to report that Gordon is only going to change right side tires. They've already gone to the left side on Earnhardt, so that'll be a 4-tire change. And that is indeed what's going on. Jeff Gordon comes out with the lead. He only changed right side tires in an effort to tighten that car up. Earnhardt's car just now down and away, so Gordon beat them all out, but he's only got 2 fresh tires.
Well, we're going to have another argument as to who's out second. Was it Rusty or was it Dale?
Well, I'm going to make a call. I think it was Rusty.
Jimmy Spencer, after a collision with Jeff Burton, got into the wall in turn 3. Watch right in the middle of this pack up against the wall.
Mike, you see Jimmy right there. They have contact, he and Jeff Burton. They get together. Man, he hit that wall hard. So you see, you don't have to just wreck in the corner. You have to run all the way around this racetrack. You make one mistake, I told you before the race started, one mistake, you're behind the wall.
Tough break for Jimmy Spencer. Travis Carter and team. Now behind the wall.
See, I'm trying to fix it, though. That's one thing about these Winston Cup crews. They never give up. They try to get them back in the race if they possibly can.
We're still arguing over this.
I cannot believe this. I believe he's...
Hey, Kenny Schrader did not pit. He is now the race leader as these two try to discuss position. We'll sort it out when we come back. And as we go to this break, let's take a look at one of the great moments in the history of the North Carolina Motor Speedway. We'll be right back. 12 years ago, Richard Petty hung on to beat Bill Elliott by half a car length here at the Rock. That ended a 43-race winless streak for the King and marked the 6th second-place finish without yet a victory for young Bill Elliott. Getting set for the restart, Ken Schrader is the leader. Jeff Gordon was second off pit road, and NASCAR adjudged Rusty Wallace beat Dale Earnhardt to the end of the pit lane. And that's how they'll restart.
Kenny Schrader didn't stop then. I guess he figured it, you know, he stopped just a few laps back. Look at Rusty Wallace make the move on Jeff Gordon getting in the corner there. That's kind of a power move, too. I didn't know he could pass Jeff that easy. Well, he didn't.
Rusty Wallace came in here 124 points out of the lead. He's looking for those 5 bonus points for leading the lap.
Well, I tell you what, that's kind of surprising that the 25 car is not moving back in the field there. There's a little contact there between the veteran and the kid there, but you see Jeff Gordon, he's not intimidated by anybody touching.
But Jeff Gordon also only put 2 tires on, too. So there again, we're looking at things that is happening all during the day.
Let's find out why Jeff Gordon only got 2 tires. Glenn?
Ray Evernham, we saw you only take on 2 tires. What's the strategy?
We had only run 11 laps of green on those, and we just didn't feel like it was necessary to put them on. We're just trying some combinations again for later in the race. It's going to be a whole different racetrack a couple hours from now.
Well, another thing they might be taking into consideration, guys, NASCAR limited the teams to only 10 full sets of tires this week. Now, once they change tires, they can go get some new ones, but going into the race, only 10 sets was all they were allowed to have. They may be trying to conserve a few of those.
And that was to avoid the tire shortage situation that developed in Daytona.
Well, I don't know, but I can tell you this. Kenny Schrader's moving away just a little bit right now on used tires, so maybe new tires are not the great advantage they used to be.
I tell you, I think NASCAR limited everybody to 10 sets that they could have, but they can have all they need during the race. So you could have 11 or 13 or 14 sets. I think that's something that NASCAR's looking about doing, maybe only giving you 10 sets for the whole weekend. And right now, I think the tire deal's unlimited.
And I understand some of the Cup teams have bought unused tires from teams in yesterday's Busch Grand National race to have extra sets. Because now the Busch and the Cup teams use the same tires at every racetrack.
I think we saw this a lot yesterday, that a lot of teams would not pit because you couldn't do tires for the Busch race. And I think a lot of the Winston Cup teams watch that race, and they're seeing that you don't have to pit just every time.
You're looking at the battle for 5th place here. Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte right behind Ricky Rudd there, and he's outrunning his older brother right now. I know that's got to be a thrill for him also.
What did it feel like the first time you outran your dad?
Man, I tell you what, it was mixed emotions because my father was so good and everything, and you know, I started getting a little bit better equipment as I was going up through the ranks, and it really wasn't right for me to say I was outrunning him because I was outrunning his car.
Okay.
That's a good answer, buddy.
Yeah. I still work with my dad, too.
Yes. All right, we'll leave this battle for 5th place and go back to 12th. Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin. From the Valvoline Ford, you're looking back at the Kodak Chevy of the now 2-time Daytona 500 champion, Sterling Marlin. Too bad you can't hear that car over here.
Yeah. I know one thing. You can see he's running well. He's all over the back of Martin right now and coming by on the outside.
Look at that. Martin moves over, let him go. I tell you, Mark Martin's one of those racers that if you're faster than him, he usually moves over and lets you go. But when he wants to come by, he expects the same thing. And that's why Mark is a real good competitor. We got a good battle for the lead, and Jeff Gordon trying to pass his teammate Kenny Schrader, and he did it.
Made it look pretty easy. Maybe the tires are a factor here. Maybe Schrader got a jump there on the restart. But you can see the cars that made the pit stops and took on new tires are coming up now.
Well, let's find out. Glenn?
We're standing by with Ken Howes. And Ken, you elected not to change tires. It looks like you're starting to drop back a little bit now. What was the reason for your decision?
Well, because
what a wreck.
That is Greg Sachs in the number 40 car. He has gotten hard into Jimmy Hensley. Ward
Jimmy
Burton
Hensley
is spun. Dave Marcus is in it. An incredibly hard hit for Greg Sachs. Here comes the field back to the flag. The racetrack itself is clear. A frightening moment for the Mattituck, New York driver, Greg Sachs.
That was an extremely hard lick there. I thought Jimmy Hensley was going over just for a second. The car got extremely high in the air and run along on the nose there.
And not from aerodynamics, but from the force of that impact. Let's show you what happened. Right side of your screen. Joe Nemechek got into the 32 car.
Well, it really happened a little bit ahead of there. There was some contact between Mike Wallace and another car, and they kind of slowed the line up. Now, watch this impact.
Oh.
Dave Marcus on the outside there, spinning into the infield grass.
And these guys are coming in for pit stops again. So, obviously I realize what Kenny Schrader is, but man, everybody's coming for tires again. Well, no, not everybody is.
Oh, me. That's ugly from any sight.
And Sachs had made a whole lane change, seeing the spinning car and trying to get away from it. Watch and listen. Greg Sachs trying to take evasive action, and you can see what the force of the impact has done to that car.
Ward Burton in the 31 car, very lucky to get by on the outside there.
And there's good news. Greg Sachs is out. He is okay.
That's one tough engine right there. I'm going to tell you right now, he took a shot.
He's the one that took a good shot at in the Busch Clash last couple weeks ago, and had the same kind of head-on hit.
If you've ever questioned how safe these race cars are, there's a very good example right there. We are under caution, and we'll be right back to Rockingham.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by Moen Faucets. Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
Right after our telecast today, 90 minutes of TNN Outdoors. The In Fisherman kicks it off at 5 o'clock, followed by Bill Dance at 5:30. And then at 6 o'clock, Bassmasters. Lots of fishing right here after the race on TNN, the Nashville Network. Jimmy Hensley is okay as he talks to Chuck Bound, reporting for radio today. Hensley out of the car and all right, having a short day in the active trucking number 32. Jeff from Hillsborough, New Jersey called in on our 800 line. Wants to know what rear end ratios they run here at Rockingham.
Right now they have a 422.
I heard of one driver qualifying with a 430 or 433 gear and running 9,400 RPM.
I heard of some guys that practiced with a 430, and us with the Texaco Avalon Ford, we have a 422 in, and we turned 8,900 yesterday in practice.
Norman from Portland, Maine asks who decides the pit road speed. The NASCAR officials do. Is it the same as the pace car speed? Not necessarily. Today the pit road speed's 45 miles an hour, and the pace car speed is 55 miles an hour. And again, that's determined by the NASCAR officials based on a number of factors, and it is different at every size racetrack. We're under caution with Jeff Gordon leading, Bobby Labonte, Morgan Shepherd, and Terry Labonte. Here's another Rockingham moment. 6 years ago, Rusty Wallace takes the checkered flag as Alan Kulwicki in white battles Dale Earnhardt for second here at Rockingham. It was the first of Wallace's 6 wins in his Winston Cup championship season. Highway transportation for TNN provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago. Call 1-800-988-4884. See why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. Show you one more time what happened here in the aftermath of this caution.
Well, Jeff, Greg Sachs, he avoided Dick Trickle down on the bottom there, weaved by him on the outside, and then collected the back of Jimmy Hensley's car. Wrong place, wrong time.
We are back under green. We'll have an update from the Care Center shortly as the lapped cars down on the inside get in and amongst between the race leaders, Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte.
I tell you, and one thing we got to bring up is Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, and quite a few other ones. They pitted, and they got themselves back into, 15th, 16th spots. So they got to work their way back.
There are a couple of them. Moving around, Jeremy Mayfield in the RCA 98. There's Terry Labonte in number 5, number 28, Dale Jarrett.
You brought up a good point. They had just stopped a few laps before that. I'm not sure that wasn't a mistake on everybody's part coming in again like that and getting way back in this traffic, because this is where trouble comes from.
Bold move by Kyle Petty. And that Coors number 42 getting down and underneath Mayfield. Bill Elliott follows him through. Let's go down to the Care Center, Glenn Jarrett.
Good news to report, guys, and especially for Greg Sachs' wife at home. He is okay. The PR spokesman, Mike Rumpf, just came out and told me Greg's okay. He's talking. He's a little uncomfortable. He's really sore, banged up a little bit, but no broken bones or anything like that. They're just going to keep him in there for observation. But Greg sent word out here he is okay. He'll come out and talk to us just as soon as he can.
Boy, 2 hard hits in 3 Sundays.
Yeah, this is great racing, but look who's in 3rd place here. Morgan Shepherd. He's kind of a guy that kind of sneaks up on you. He's been in the top 10 most of the day right now. He's moved into 3rd place and making a real strong run, but 2nd place, Bobby Labonte now. He's got to be enjoying today.
2 Chevys, a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Ford, and a Pontiac in the front 6 spots. Here's Earnhardt and Wallace working their way back up front after pit stops. Mark Martin right with them, so is Ricky Rudd and Jeff Bodine. Moving around, Brett Bodine, the number 11, and John Andretti, Kmart 37. They're riding with Mark Martin. Clear on the windshield there, buddy.
You look at the shifter lever there, that thing's vibrating all over the place down the straightaway. You see it moving like that. That drivetrain's taking a real beating down the straightaway. You turn a car 8,600 down the straightaway, everything down there is working really hard.
Yeah, that's for sure. That goes to show you that everybody's got some really good stuff. I tell you, we talked about Mark Martin's mirror a little while ago, and you can actually look in that mirror and actually see all the way out the left side of the car.
Steve Grissom, Diamond Ridge Racing, number 29.
3 wide down the front straightaway here. Earnhardt's on the bottom side. Now, somebody's got to give here. They'll have to get at least 2 wide getting in that corner.
It's Mike Wallace just ahead of them. The Heilig Myers number 90. The Meineke car in black and yellow, that's Grissom.
Now, when you're back there, what you have to do, you have to decide who's going to be the fastest car. Who do I want to follow through this mess? And as you can see, he made the right choice. Here comes Earnhardt on the outside now behind Grissom.
2 straight weeks that Grissom has run well.
Yeah.
Mayfield. And for the back of Mark Martin's car, looking at Ricky Rudd. Passing the Cale Yarborough-owned machine.
I tell you, we need to show some of the guys on pit road that have the RCA deals that they can look at
little mini satellite dishes.
Yeah, mini satellite dishes on our toolbox.
I'll show you Napa Field standing update. Brought to you by Napa. We keep America running. Well, here's how they're running. Tight squeeze there with some of those lap cars, buddy.
I wanted everybody to have a chance to say something to each other that's watching this race. Kenny Schrader just went in there 3 wide and made it. That's the first time I've seen anything like that work.
There's still 3 wide.
Whoa! I knew that chain had to get tight sooner or later.
Jeremy Mayfield, he definitely had the wrong end of that deal.
There's Mike Wallace leading that pack. Let's go up to where Dale Earnhardt, Kyle Petty, Rusty Wallace, and Mark Martin battle. It's turn 1. And Ricky Rudd. Kyle Petty up in the high groove, and everybody goes by.
Well, that's a good example of when a car is really working now. Ricky Rudd's car was handling well. You see how fast he went by and just put Kyle Petty right out of the picture there. You can gain 5-6 car lengths a corner when you're really handling well around this racetrack.
I'll tell you how competitive this race is. There are still 21 cars on the lead lap.
Talking about Grissom running well, Earnhardt's been behind him for the last 10 laps, and he's not really gaining that much on him. As I said that, here comes Earnhardt.
Earnhardt makes the pass underneath Steve Grissom. He'll try to drag Rusty Wallace right along with him. And Mark Martin. Just watch for Mark's car. And that pass Steve Kinzer in the Quaker State 26. Let's join Randy Pemberton down at the Care Center.
Well, we're actually on the backstretch, Mike. We've caught up with Jimmy Hensley. The guys are working on the car, but Jimmy, I got a feeling they're working on it to load it up in the truck, are they?
Yeah, we took a pretty good shot over on the front stretch. You know, we won't be back. Active Truck and Chevrolet was running pretty good, though. We got a lap early, but we kind of sorted the car a little bit and was running pretty good, you know, when that happened. But, you know, that's the way, that's racing.
Could you see that coming in your mirror? I mean, you got jacked up pretty good.
Yeah, I thought, you know, I knew I was going to get hit. I just tried to brace myself. I think Greg hit me, you know. Wasn't anybody's fault. I couldn't keep the car up in the outside groove like I needed to. It spun back down and come back in the path. It was a pretty good shot.
Thanks. You okay?
Thanks.
Jimmy Hensley out of the race. Earnhardt and Martin now pulling up on Bill Elliott. McDonald's car in 6th place. And Mark Martin.
You see the glare on the windshield starting to be a factor getting into turn 1 now, because you get a certain amount of sandblasting on the windshield, and then it gets a little oily in between stops. You start into turn 1, that's where the sun goes down in the afternoon. Makes it very hard to see getting into 1 a lot of times.
These cars are 7.5 seconds behind the leader. Give a call to Jeff Burton and the Stavola brothers. Ray Best is number 8, battling up there for a top 10 spot. All these cars in this pack are on the lead lap.
I was just fixing to say, that whole group right there, anyone there could be, if they were track position-wise up front, they would probably be contenders for the lead right now, but track position means so much here.
Here's the battle for 5th.
That's Bill Elliott on the inside there with the big M94. Dale Jarrett losing some ground there. How you feel, boy?
Lost 2 or 3 spots there, and, you know, just he's not getting through the middle of the corner very good.
Rusty makes the pass in number 2.
Mark Martin turned up the wick a little bit, too. A while ago, he couldn't run with Rusty Wallace. Now he's right with him.
Hard to believe that Davy Jones' car is still making laps after the wrap into the wall that he took in the 77, but he's out there.
Uh-oh, we've had a bad report. They said Mark Martin's beginning to smoke just a little bit. It could be some of that, where he got hit in the left side there a while ago. It might be rubbing the tire just a little bit. And it makes it look like a lot of smoke, and it may not be any damage at all.
Right behind them, Dale Jarrett, Texaco Haviland Ford, Ricky Rudd in the Tide Ford, and the Kodak Chevy of Sterling Marlin. This is a tense pack here. I mean, this is from 5th on back, everybody.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the world's coming. Yep.
For 5th place.
You see Bill Elliott on the outside there. He's not really giving up that much ground on the outside. That means he's found a place out there that this car works pretty good. He's not giving up that much track position to Earnhardt.
So, buddy, this pack is a whole straightaway behind 4th place Terry Labonte.
I tell you, Bill Elliott's one of those guys that can find a spot on the racetrack and just keep going and, you know, not slow himself down. Up in the
a lot of
groove.
smoke down in turn 1. One car, Jeff Bodine, high up the banking.
Yeah,
that's plume of smoke.
That's a little more tire smoke here. That's in the exhaust area there. He's got some real problems.
It's like a short day for the XI Batteries 4.
Look at Elliott. He's not giving up.
And we stay green. As Wallace moves around.
Well, he's fighting with Mark Martin.
Yes.
Mark Martin's on the inside. You see Rusty pull back down in front of him there.
And Elliott continues to go at it with Earnhardt. I like this. This is a Bill Elliott of old. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's good to see him up there tussling with Earnhardt like we're used to seeing him.
Well, I tell you what, Bill Elliott's got to be just absolutely thrilled right now. This team is just 2 races old, and he's able to run with the national champion around this racetrack and make it very exciting. So he's got to be really having a good time right now.
And he's doing it on the outside. That's the main thing. And, you know, Bill's one of them guys just like Harry Gant was. He could get the high side going on this racetrack. And I think there's going to be a lot more guys start running the high side later.
Well, not only did he run side by side, he didn't let him make the pass. They're back at it again. You see they'll stack it up side by side again. But while they were racing side by side, there's a whole group of cars that gained back up on them again, so it's going to really get tight now.
Sure, Kenny Schrader, Sterling Marlin are back in that pack. They've caught that group. There are only 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds from 5th to 16th position. There they all are.
Nobody said it was going to be easy. These guys are working hard out there right now. And this is the part of the race that you really set up. For the last part of the race right now, you're making adjustments to the car, but right now you're going to see the dominant teams come up on the front.
Hey, one thing we need to bring up, the 2nd place running car is Bobby Labonte.
Yep.
And running real good right with Jeff.
Here's how they stand at 213 laps. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, there they are. Morgan Shepherd in 3rd. Terry Labonte in 4th, and then that big pack of cars led by Dale Earnhardt. Eighth caution of the day, a collision between Todd Bodine and Kenny Schrader. Here's Randy.
Well, Walter Smith just dropped the jack on Terry Labonte's car. He talked earlier about beating these guys out. I believe he just did it from the backstretch. Terry Labonte has beaten these guys out and will lead this race.
That is unbelievable. We didn't think it could be done, that you could pit on the backstretch side and get out in front of the leader. I'm not sure where they will spot Labonte, but it looked to us, as it did to you, Randy, that Terry Labonte got out ahead of Jeff Gordon.
Well,
What a move.
just amazing. These guys, they have picked up Brad Parrott, used to be on the Rusty Wallace crew. Walter Smith, definitely one of the best jackmen in the business. This team is high-fiving back in. There's Walter high-fiving. They're absolutely excited, and deservedly so, because I didn't think that they could do it. But, man, what a great stop.
Let's show you why we are in caution. Todd Bodine and Kenny Schrader.
This is Todd Bodine on the inside of the 75 car. Schrader on the outside. You see him lose control there. He gets Schrader with the rear. Both of them get into the wall. They're very, very lucky somebody didn't come into them when they were coming back across the racetrack.
It looks like early that they actually touched a little bit and Todd got extra loose and ended up just getting Schrader along with him.
Schrader's car has gone to the garage. Todd Bodine's car is on pit road making repairs to the heavy damage on the right rear. Now, one reason that Labonte, we'll get to that in a moment. Let's show you another angle on this replay.
Boy, it's going to be ugly anyway. We look at this.
They hit right there, and that's what got Todd loose.
Look at Dale Jarrett on the bottom there. He's going, man, go on up high. I need by.
Now, one change that has been made for this race.
I can tell you why that is.
Go ahead, Ernie.
I haven't seen the note, but you're looking at the note, and actually the pace car is actually speeding up when they dump the cars off going on pit road down here in turn 4. The pace car will actually speed up some and run the next cars over to get them a fair advantage, or
a fair shot at getting
into the pit
exactly.
road on the back straightaway. And actually, we had a deal that I wasn't so sure. We were the last car to get a pit on the front straightaway. I wasn't so sure that it wasn't going to be better on the back straightaway because you're pitting in the same spot that Earnhardt pits on the front straightaway.
Down at the far end. Let's check with Glenn.
Well, guys, we're down in Dale Earnhardt's pit. I wanted to get a word with Andy Petrie. They had to bring Dale back in, but they're discussing what's going on during the pit stop. Dale had to come back in to readjust the lug nuts on the left front of the car. I'm going to get a word with Andy to find out exactly what went wrong there. I do know that there were a couple of lug nuts that weren't secured. They had to bring him back in. Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, took on 4 tires. They did make a chassis adjustment. They adjusted the panhard bar. Didn't mess with the jack screws. Adjusted the panhard bar. Maybe Ernie can tell us what they were after.
Well, I can tell you the panhard bar right now is adjustable, and you can actually do it just like a weight jack bolt, and you can put 2 or 3 rounds in that panhard bar, and you'll lower it on the right-hand side, which is probably what they were loose, so they're probably going to lower the panhard bar on the right side.
Randy?
Hey, one other reason that I can add to Ernie here, talking about pitting on the backstretch as they get ready to go green. You know, a lot of times these cars back here get a lap down. They don't qualify as well. Sometimes they don't run as well. It's a lot cleaner. The crew can get a good look at you coming in as we get ready to go green, and that's one of the reasons Terry Labonte can slip in and slip out nice and easy.
We're back under green.
Well, I'm sure Rick Hendricks must be saying, let's don't have the same thing happen. All 3 of his cars last race here had a chance to win. They all were collected in wrecks or either had engine trouble. Right now, they're first and second in the field. You see Terry Labonte leading, right behind him, Jeff Gordon. I know he's saying there were 3, now there is 2.
And I think the 18th car is Rick Hendricks' motor.
I believe you're right. And that's Bobby Labonte.
Right.
Who is 3rd.
Yeah, I wouldn't count Bobby Labonte out of this thing. He's showing a lot of muscle. I think maybe the fastest car out there other than the 24, Jeff Gordon. These 2 guys, both of them very young, but they are very aggressive.
Well, Gordon flies past Terry Labonte into the lead. Now Bobby Labonte guns for 2nd, and Bobby Hamilton in the STP number 43, who is 2 laps down, fighting with Labonte now. Let's go back to 6th place. Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett.
Boy, Dale Jarrett has been so close today to some major wrecks. He has been very fortunate to dodge. Right now, he's still in contention right up front.
Running right behind Morgan Shepherd and Bill Elliott there are Wallace and Jarrett.
You know, Bill Elliott told me, he said, I'm not going to stay down very long. I don't think he expected to run this well this quick, but this car is right in there right now. This car is flying around the outside of the racetrack. Might be the only car that can run out wide.
Elliott is in 5th place. Wallace 6th, Jarrett 7th. 8th is Sterling Marlin. 9th is Ricky Rudd. 10th, Derek Cope. 11th, Kyle Petty. 12th, Jeff Burton. 13th. Mark Martin. 14th is Dick Trickle. 15th, Ricky Craven. Then Earnhardt.
Sterling Marlin making a move on the inside and running off the good. Earnhardt and Mark Martin got a battle coming back to the front again, and Earnhardt had to have that extra pit stop and tighten up some lug nuts.
Let's go to Earnhardt's pit.
Okay, guys, the problem with it was when they put the left front tire on, it did strip one of the lug nuts. It would not go up tight, so Andy Petrie had him bring it back in. He himself went down and put the lug nut back up tight. Andy says there is no problem with the car right now. It's one of those things that happen, but the problem they got is way back in all that traffic. They do not like that.
You know, you hear this about stripping the lug nut like that. What do? You take a thread chaser and put it on there, run it up tight. The next time he'll take it off, put a regular nut back on there, and you hadn't really got any damage.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're the Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace have got a good battle going for 5th and 6th.
Back in 14th position, Earnhardt trailing Mark Martin.
There is one thing. Earnhardt can't continually do this. He's losing a lot of track position every time they have a problem like that. And just to get back in contention where he should be, he's got to use his car up a whole bunch to get there.
Trailing Dick Trickle in number 15 car, as they work around Michael Waltrip, who is 4 laps down. And note that Jeff Bodine's problems were not terminal. He spent 10 laps in the pits and has come back out. He's 10 laps down.
Every time I see Earnhardt go in the corner, I just kind of smile. I don't believe anybody tries any harder than this guy. No matter where he's at, wide open, he goes in the corner, he gains 5, 6 car lengths on anybody here.
Throws it in there. We've completed 230 laps, closing in on halfway here at the Rock. We'll be right back. Be sure to tune in next Sunday for Neil Bonnett's Winners. It will return at its regularly scheduled time, 2:30 p.m. Eastern next Sunday, right here on TNN. There's the lead battle. 2 of the young guns of NASCAR racing and 2 of the veterans. Right there, running 5th and 6th. Bill Elliott and Rusty Wallace. In between them are Terry Labonte and Morgan Shepherd. And Sterling Marlin is closing in on this group.
Well, Bill Elliott's running a little bit further than everybody else, but you know, once you find a place that your race car really works well, Ernie, you just try to reproduce that lap over and over and over again to keep the maximum horsepower really hooked to the pavement, and that's what Bill Elliott's doing. I don't think he can run the bottom at the moment.
No, right now his car seems to want to run a groove or a groove and a half up, and Bill's one of those guys that could sit there and find that spot. And you know, everybody kind of counted Bill out for the last couple of years, but Bill Elliott's still the same Bill Elliott we used to watch and dominate a lot of races, and he's going to be coming back this year.
These cars are 3.5 seconds behind the leader, Ernie. And can you believe Rusty Wallace has not led a lap since Charlotte last October?
I can't believe it. I just read that too, and I'm really amazed because that's something you don't expect. He's always up front.
Well, he's had his chances at it here and come close, like 3 inches close. And battle with Earnhardt down pit road, but this day is far from over.
That was one of the reasons I was able to win the hard charger deal, because Rusty didn't get to lead a lot of laps.
Here's Dale Earnhardt chasing Mark Martin. Dick Trickle.
Just a few laps ago, Earnhardt got by the 6th car, but Mark Martin has passed Earnhardt and is now really getting after everybody. Dick Trickle runs very well on this type of racetrack, but as you can well see, I think it's about time for Mark to say, okay, I work out, I'm getting a little stronger, and he's starting to turn the wake up just a little bit.
There's a look back at Earnhardt from Mark Martin's car.
Ooh, he almost...
we got
in the wall is Dick Trickle. What happened?
The 6.
Steve Grissom gets by.
I don't know. I've seen Mark Martin really check up fast, so...
That's why you saw Earnhardt get suddenly close and back away, trying to get away from Mark Martin. May have been contact between Martin and Trickle. There was certainly contact between Trickle and the wall.
And I think they're going to need more tires than that 10 sets they said everybody was going to get, huh?
Maybe you're right, Ernie.
Yeah.
If you joined the season late, who's your tire, which competed against Goodyear? In 1994, we have had several questions on our 800 line. Hoosier has withdrawn from Winston Cup racing this season. All Goodyear tires. Let's see what happened here.
Mark got into the left rear corner just a little bit. There goes Trickle up high. Wow. He tags the wall pretty hard with the front and rear, and now across the racetrack he comes.
Luckily,
Grissom, nice save.
Yeah.
Different angle.
Well, that's just after they hit each other, and there goes Trickle up into the outside wall. I tell you, if you could get your hand out and hit a car on the quarter panel, you could turn him. That's how easy it is. You don't have to really hit him hard to turn him here.
Right.
They were battling for 11th place. Here's Glenn in the pits.
And here they come now, guys. When Jeff Gordon's pit, they're going with another 4-tire change. Here comes Earnhardt. I'm down here counting the tires. Earnhardt still has, I see 3 full new sets left. And I was also back there looking at the tires they seem to have bought from some Grand National crews from yesterday. 4-tire changes all around here. Randy?
Okay, let's see what happens this time. Terry Labonte in that 1-pump jack, a Charlie Brunhosel jack for Walter Smith. Brad Parrott on the right rear. On the front, Brian Robertson. They come around to the left side. 1.5 pumps. The Kellogg's car is up. Here comes Morgan Shepherd down pit road. Terry Labonte will not beat him. Bobby Labonte goes by. He'll come out about 4th if he can get there.
Here you see Labonte blending into traffic as they come back around to catch up on the pace car. We are under caution at the North Carolina Motor Speedway as pit stop for lap cars continue. It's the 9th caution flag of the day.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by Just for Men, the leader in men's hair coloring. Blends away gray in 5 minutes.
Welcome back to Rockingham, where we are halfway in the Goodwrench 500. Morgan Shepherd has taken the lead after pit stops ahead of Bobby Labonte and Bill Elliott. We have lots of reasons why Sterling Marlin's car sounds like it does. Here are 8 great reasons, with apologies to David Letterman. Number 4. Okay, we'll go right to number 4, courtesy John Boy and Billy, Radio Network. That's the sound of Rusty whining. We don't make these up, folks. Number 3, they did not get an intake from Junior Johnson. Number 2, Kodak film stuck in the carburetor. And the number 1 answer, Sterling heard IndyCar drivers make more money. So the car sounds like that. Could we have numbers 5 through 8 just for the heck of it? We will in a minute. Let's go green.
There's some mercy to every flag. Yes, here we go. Morgan Shepherd leading the race for the first time today. I know he's got to be happy about that.
And so are the Wood brothers.
He's going to have to go pretty hard. Bobby Labonte is running second, and he looks like he's a little bit quicker in the corner, don't you think, Ernie?
A little quicker right in the middle of the corner, it looked like. You know, I don't know, did Morgan take on 2 or did Morgan take on 4 tires?
We'll try to find out.
It wasn't enough, because here comes Bobby Labonte. He's doing everything he can to get by him. He tried the low side and couldn't quite make the pass.
Dick Trickle's car still running after that crash, but they make a stop under green. Here comes Labonte for the lead.
This has got to be a thrill for him. New team, first lap he's led in this team.
Labonte's in front. Shepherd in second, Bill Elliott now third.
Boy, Bill's on charge. I tell you, anybody knows anything about Rockingham, Bill Elliott's had a lot of success here, and the longer the race goes, the better he runs.
At halfway, here's your Goodyear mid-race report, brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. 6 different leaders, 12 lead changes, average speed slowed by those 9 cautions to just 116.5 miles per hour. Trouble. And a car has spun at turn number 3. That is Davy Jones.
Boy, he's had a tough day of it. This is second wreck for this car.
Halfway green flag lap leader was Bobby Labonte. That was worth $10,000. He scored at a lap 2:53. It has to be a green lap after the caution period. We stay green.
You see the firemen are there already because they see the back end of the car is beat up pretty bad. They want to be there in case there was I see just a little bit of fire at the left side of the car. That's just unused fuel coming out of the exhaust.
He got her fired up, and he's going to get back into the pits.
And the former Jaguar racer pulls away. Here are your lap leaders of the race so far. You see Jeff Gordon has been out front a bunch. Earnhardt has led twice, once for nearly 50 laps. Schrader, Terry Labonte, and Morgan Shepherd were the leaders up to halfway. Now add Bobby Labonte to that group.
You see Davy Jones running around the bottom of the racetrack here. The 18 car of Bobby Labonte, I mean, we have to talk about this. This is the second time for him to drive this race car. That means that he really talks with his crew, and they understand what he's saying, and they're really gelling. That's really good to see.
A lot of teams had their eye on Labonte last season when he drove for Bill Davis. And as the season wound down and Davis did not have a sponsor to go racing in 1995, he, I think, graciously released Bobby from his contract to be free to go pick up another ride. And when he got into this car, it freed up Dale Jarrett to be able to drive the number 28. And then Davis ended up picking up NBNA and driver Randy LaJoie. So I think everybody made out pretty well. But perhaps this young fellow best of all.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, Bobby's doing a great job. And we've watched him do this in a Busch Grand National car a lot. So we know what he can do. And I know Bobby's got to be excited. I know his dad's got to be excited, too.
Here's Glenn.
Well, guys, I spoke with Joe Gibbs this morning right before the race, and they were very excited, very high on Bobby's chances here today. Of course, Jimmy Maycar, my brother-in-law, is still the crew chief on that car. Over the winter, they built 4 or 5 new race cars. This is one of them, so they were very, very excited about it. First time they'd gotten to bring a new race car to Rockingham since the team was formed. They really felt like they had something for them, and by golly, they're showing them they do.
Bobby Labonte leads Morgan Shepherd, Jeff Gordon, Bill Elliott, and Rusty Wallace, your top 5. Here's the rest of the top 10. We'll be right back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway after this. There's a look at the North Carolina Motor Speedway here in the Sand Hills of North Carolina. From your steel area platform, power equipment with qualities you can depend on. Bobby Labonte in only his 5th Rockingham start. And his best finish here was only 19th. That was last spring. Best career finish, 5th at Michigan last August. Watch this with John Andretti. Close call. Looked like Daytona, didn't it?
You know, sometimes there's a wreck that really don't happen. That was a wreck that didn't happen. Most people would have cranked a little too much steering into that car to get away from the wall and run into the Sterling on the inside there, and that's been a heck of a wreck.
I tell you, you know, John did a great job of saving one at Daytona, and he just did today, too.
He lost a lap. Remember, a couple of cars pitted under green just as the first caution was coming out. He was one of them. So he got a lap down, but otherwise he's been quite competitive and running strong. He's currently the first car 1 lap down in 17th position.
I tell you, you got to remember too that that's basically a new team. You know, Tim Burr is a crew chief, and Carl Haas and Michael Cranafis. They're all the owners, and that's a new team basically. So they haven't actually been racing for a year or so, and they're going to have a learning curve.
Well, we've had a change for second place right now. Jeff Gordon's in second. He passed Morgan Shepherd just a second ago, and here comes Rusty. Just as you see coming in the picture here, he's racing Bill Elliott for 4th place right now.
They're second and third. Gordon in 24, Shepherd in 21. And just back of them, there's the battle. Rusty Wallace has passed Bill Elliott as they work around Jimmy Spencer, whose car is back in the race after a hard hit with the wall. Same with Lake Speed.
And just back of this group, as you see them come through, that's Terry Labonte coming in there for the next spot. And just behind them, Ricky Rudd, you can see.
Ricky Rudd towing Sterling Marlin along. And Mark Martin. Back of them, Dale Earnhardt. As we interval back through the field.
You know, that's what I was telling you about track position. A while ago, Earnhardt was up front. Looked like he was a world beater. And now he's back in there. It took him this long to get track position back again.
All right, here's 8th and 9th place, buddy. And there's Earnhardt in 10th. Behind them, Derek Cope is 11th.
That's a good run for Derek Cope. I mean, we talked about him at the beginning of the show, and you know, that team, Bobby Allison's team, still holding it up.
Well, let's interval back to Derek Cope and the 28 of Dale Jarrett. As you can see, that Chevrolet has dominated this race thus far. There's that battle, Cope and Jarrett. Nose to tail on the racetrack. They're 5.5 seconds behind the leader, Bobby Labonte. That's 11th and 12th place right there.
Boy, that 28 handles good down the straightaway. Look at that thing go.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, Robert and Doug and all the guys that work in the motor shop do an unbelievable job. And this is the same motor that I raced at Loudon, New Hampshire, and dominated most of that race until the driver had a failure, spun out and crashed.
That car that looked on the outside that looked like a bulldog had been feeding on it with Jimmy Spencer. They have fixed that car and got it back out there. I cannot believe they got that car back in the race.
They are running, trying to pick up points after missing the Daytona 500. Back behind this group is Steve Grissom in the 13th spot. And Lynn from Montana called in and wondered. No, Steve is not related to astronaut Gus Grissom, the Gemini astronaut who later died in that Apollo fire in January of 1967. There is no relation. But Grissom in the Meineke Mufflers, number 29, is he's been running that thing like an astronaut today. He's been on the lead lap all day. He's currently 13.
Well, he has everything it takes, all the tools. He's a big boy, he's strong, and I look for him to be a contender to run up front with these guys for many years to come.
Contending with him is the 8 of Jeff Burton, the Ray Bestis Brakes Ford. Burton is 14th and on the lead lap.
I'll tell you, remember, Buddy Parrott is the one that's went over to Grissom's team, and you know, they're running really good. Buddy's obviously got a lot of experience, and he can lead Steve in the right direction.
That's right. Grissom has been suffering from stomach flu this week, but he's certainly getting a good sweat in the workout here. Best battle on the racetrack right now is 5th place, where Bill Elliott holds off Terry Labonte.
I don't know what's happened to Bill. He's running very well, don't get me wrong, but he's losing a little bit of time right now, and it looks like Terry Labonte will pass him pretty easy right now.
Bobby Hamilton makes another pit stop. He had the hood up, and they continue to make repairs. A lap past Joe Nemechek in the Burger King, number 87.
Yeah, the hood's been up on that car several times already. Right. He's having a little bit of trouble.
274 laps are complete here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. It is Bobby Labonte leading Jeff Gordon, Morgan Shepherd, and Rusty Wallace. 280 laps complete at Rockingham. Jeff Gordon drove underneath Bobby Labonte to take the lead, and Morgan Shepherd has sustained engine trouble, it appears, in the Wood Brothers Citgo number 21, and has dropped way off the pace. Joe Nemechek makes a pit stop under green, as Jeff Gordon is now the race leader.
Well, Mike, this time in the race, you start seeing valves getting in trouble. You know, you drop a valve and you get off, you know, a little bit, and too bad for Morgan. What a great run he had put in today.
Let's go down and check in the pits of the 2nd place car. Here's Randy.
Jimmy Makar talking to Bobby Labonte. Jimmy leading for quite a while there, had a good run going out front. Now he's dropped back to 2nd. Why?
Well, the car's just a little bit loose right now because we ran a little late. We've been working with it all race long, working on tight, loose, trying to figure out what it might take. He's just really riding right now, not trying to do anything funny. It's a long race. We just got to sit around here and be here at the end. So we'll keep working on it for him as he tells us what he needs, and hopefully we'll be right at the end of the race.
Let's check the 3rd place battle. Right behind Rusty Wallace, they are side by side for 4th.
I'd like to take back what I said a while ago about Bill Elliott. He's running very well. They've been racing side by side for quite a while now, and Terry cannot make the move. Bill's got that momentum off the corner with that wide line getting in the corner. You see him right here. He'll start gaining back as he come off the corner.
Right behind them, the race for 6th, Sterling Marlin and Ricky Rudd and Mark Martin. As Elliott completes that pass. Trouble, Randy LaJoie spinning down the front stretch. And again, Bobby Labonte has a near miss. 2nd hard crash in 2 days for Randy LaJoie, who destroyed the car that he qualified 20th and had to start this car from the back of the field as a backup.
Well, you can see it on the back of the top roof there. Flap, the roof flap is employed. Thank you very much.
I'll say it for you.
Good boy. Ooh, that's a lot of damage on the left-hand corner of that car. That's where the oil cooler and everything's located, so that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, it sure is. You know, that team doesn't need that, but, you know, it's just part of racing, and, you know, they'll put it back together and come back next week.
They didn't have a lap on this car. They said it was identical to the car that they'd wrecked. They threw the same numbers, set of springs under it and all that they had, and hoped they could run well today, and they did to this point. They were a couple of laps down. Here's Randy.
Vince Klein carries the tires around as Jimmy Makar rolls around the jack for the Interstate Battery Chevrolet team. What a great run around a wedge here for Bobby Labonte. Left side tires going on. The jack is dropped. There goes Bobby Labonte. Glenn?
Okay, down at this end, Randy, we've got Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. They're pitted side by side. Again, 4 tire changes. No tire shortages yet. Good pit stop for Jeff Gordon. He barely beats Bobby Labonte to the line now. Earnhardt is down and away. He'll come out about 6th or 7th. 4 tire changes. I did not see any chassis adjustments.
Now here's Terry Labonte getting service, and Kyle Petty. They're both on the lead lap. The reason they beat Bobby Labonte out was Labonte had to follow. He has a pit stall way up at turn 4 as Terry comes out, and Bobby had to follow Ricky Craven down pit road. Craven was the last car on the lead lap going into his pit, so as Craven was slowing, that kept Labonte from accelerating. I'll show you what happened to Randy LaJoie.
Looks like he's right by himself. This car comes around. Now it starts up the racetrack. See the left front fixing to get into the wall. Oh, man, that's a hard lick. Coming out of turn 4.
It's fixing to get broken. Here's another look at it.
You can see he's already in big trouble. He comes up the racetrack. Watch the left front. Right, man. That makes you love this stool, don't it? Right?
Yeah, this stool's looking pretty good right now.
It's not the best seat in the house, but it's pretty close. We'll be right back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway after this.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 700 AutoZone dealers across America. AutoZone, the right parts at the right price.
From our Steel area platform, Steel, makers of a full line of outdoor power equipment, giving you these helicopter views of the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Here's Glenn.
Well, guys, we're down at Dale Earnhart's pit. You're looking at an RCA mini dish bolted to the side of the toolbox. They're watching us as we're watching them. You see the camera move in. They've got a camera, or excuse me, a monitor under the screen there. Put the camera on me, man. I want to see myself on TV. Boy, that's pretty frightening. Ooh, back upstairs.
Well, there's a bunch of those up and down pit road. They are the new sponsor on the Cale Yarborough-owned car of Jeremy Mayfield. So, Glenn, if you see Cale, put our order in, will you, please?
I could use one too.
Ernie wants
my
one.
My motorhome needs one.
Buddy needs one.
I was just fixing to say.
Now look at this.
Those pit boxes right there cost more than the first race car I had.
But look at this. These are not fishing poles. Each team has their own camera to record their own pit stops from above and play them back right after the stop to see how well they did or what they might want to do differently.
And do you know who builds most of 90% of all the pit boxes?
Let me guess. Here on TNN, the Nepotism Network, you're going to tell us.
My dad.
Right. Vic Irvin Enterprises.
We're fixing to get a green flag, too. We're coming down pretty quick here.
Let's get at it. Jeff Gordon is back out front. Bobby Labonte is second. Ricky Rudd is third. Bill Elliott is fourth. And Rusty Wallace fifth on this restart. Then it's Dale Earnhardt, Sterling Marlin, Mark Martin, Terry Labonte. Derek Cope is 10th. Back at 11th, the 8th car. That's Jeff Burton and Steve Grissom. Dale Jarrett, Kyle Petty. Morgan Shepherd is still on the lead lap, and so is the rookie Ricky Craven. Those 16 cars are on the lead lap. Back under green, lap 290.
Boy, oh boy, you can put both those drivers right there together, and they hardly make my age.
Wow. I don't think I'd admit that, buddy.
Well, like I told you yesterday, all you got to do is keep breathing. You'll know what it's like.
Boy, Gordon's car is tough off the bottom of the racetrack. What forward bite he gets off of turn 2 there.
Yeah, if I got to have some place that my car really works a straightaway, I'll take that because that's in a straight line. But you still have to get through the corners. The car is working well all the way around the racetrack.
This race is for fourth. Bill Elliott is fourth. Number 94, the McDonald's Ford. Rusty Wallace is fifth.
I thought Dale Earnhardt was looking for maybe making that 3 wide, getting in the corner there. He was up under the Heilig Myers car there of Mr. Wallace, and he thought better of it, and I was glad he did.
Now he works up high. Here comes Sterling Marlin.
Boy, it looks like Sterling's got a lot of drive off that corner now. He's made some adjustments on that car, and he seems to be running quite well as Earnhardt is at the moment.
Yeah, Sterling's going to be one of the guys that's going to be in contention probably before the end of the race.
You see Mark Martin third in line on the outside there. He's back in contention too. It's good to see him get back up. He was hit earlier today and got some damage on the left side of that car, but it seems to not have hurt the performance of the car at all.
Martin's number 6 is in 8th place. Terry Labonte right behind him. Derek Cope all in line. Then Jeff Burton. All clearing lapped traffic from the restart.
Well, Terry Labonte, the number 5 car there, getting down in the corner quite well. He's going to follow Mark as much as he can, I guarantee, because Mark's on the move toward the front.
Brings up a question about restarts from our 800 line. Ruth from North Carolina. Ernie, yesterday in the Busch race, the cars on the lead lap started on the inside. Here in Winston Cup, they start on the outside.
That's a good question. I don't know why that keeps happening, but the Busch Grand National guys have a different rule than the Winston Cup guys do. So they basically start the fast cars on the inside. Winston Cup starts the fast cars on the outside.
Where would you rather restart?
Depending on what's track.
Okay.
But, you know, they need to do it both in the same thing, because the Busch Grand National guys, when we go run a Busch Grand National race, and we're confused. Why are we starting here or there?
Engine in turn one, a big smoker. That is Morgan Shepherd.
Yeah, that's how long it takes for that valve to decide which cylinder it's going out of.
Last win for the Wood brothers here was David Pearson in 1978. It was David's 100th career win.
Wow. You guys got some good stuff here, man.
Oh, Greg Fieldings always keeps us up to date with all that stuff. I tell you what, if we ever need an answer, we have it right here in the booth.
Dale Jarrett racing Steve Grissom and Jeff Burton. Greg recounts it was 25 degrees here that day when Pearson won that race. That was the high temperature.
I remember, I come in and I was driving Hoss Ellington's car, and they were all by fire. They wasn't even out in the pit road.
They had those peach orchard warmers all in the garage area.
Wow. It's a good battle here. The 8th, the 28th, I don't know who it all was, but they were having a great battle. And
put the 29 Steve Grissom in there, too.
Steve
Grissom. What position's that for?
11.
11.
That's Dale Jarrett trying to get back in the fray here. He's lost a little bit of track position. I don't know whether the car went away that much before that last stop or not, but he's not where he wants to be.
Still on the lead lap. Here's the 4th place battle. Rusty Wallace up on the outside of Bill Elliott.
I was going to say, he tried him down low. Now Rusty's out there where Bill wants to be.
Yeah.
You see Bill move him out just a little bit.
Bill looks awful good on the inside, too, buddy. You know what I mean? He, you know, Rusty's trying him on the outside. Bill looks good everywhere.
One thing Rusty will do, he'll try it more than once. This is a very determined race car driver. He'll worry you to death. If you look in the mirror one time, he sees you looking, he'll try you every way he can then just to make you make a mistake. As we speak, he pulls back up under on the left-hand corner. You can hear him, but you can't see him.
Yep.
Bill Elliott made his first Winston Cup start at this racetrack, 1976. He wound up 32nd that day after falling out with mechanical trouble.
Wow. That's some good stuff here, man.
I didn't realize it had been that long.
I wondered where you guys got all that stuff at. I thought you just memorized it.
You see Sterling Marlin's got by the 3-car Dale Earnhardt also. Yeah. Oh, you thought we were guessing or just knew that much about
I thought you guys just knew all that stuff. Got a guy here doing all that stuff for us.
Well, he does a lot of it. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Morgan Shepherd has climbed from the Citgo Ford. Morgan, man, great run there early. What happened to the car? The hood's up. You're in the garage.
Well, Randy, or Citgo, I can't hear what you're saying, but the Citgo Thunderbird was running good. We was adjusting on the chassis. A little bit loose or a time or two, but I think we broke a valve spring, and then, of course, we dropped a valve, and that took us out.
Tough day today.
Thank you.
Tough break for Morgan Shepherd, who was a top 5 car all day long here. Here's your leader, Jeff Gordon. The DuPont finishes Chevrolet, owned by Rick Hendrick. Team run by Ray Evernham. 2 wins in 1994. And he leads Bobby Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Rusty Wallace, and Bill Elliott. We'll be right back. Jeff Gordon, lapping past Joe Nemechek, has now completed 311 laps around the Rock. 492 make up today's race. Pulling up on the Terramite Construction, number 71 of Dave Marcus. He was involved in one of the early spins. Terry Labonte and Mark Martin continue to battle for 8th place. And right behind him, Jeff Bodine's been running right with the lead lap cars, but spent 10 laps in the pits. He is 23rd.
You think Rockingham's tough enough? Look at the view out of the front windshield there. Now, this sun is becoming a factor right now. When they go down the front straightaway, when you turn into that sun, you will not believe what you can't see. It's not great going into 3 here, but now when you start down the front straightaway, just past the flag stand here, just look what you can see. This car right in front of you will vanish as you start in turn 1. Now, what can you see? You count 7 and turn left.
Let's go to Rusty Wallace and Bill Elliott. They continue to run at 4th place. 4th and 5th, that is.
That battle just keeps on. I mean, Rusty's trying to pass him, and you know, just keeps on, and then Earnhardt coming behind Rusty, and that battle's happened all day. So I look for it to start again.
You know, I was just looking at Earnhardt's car. It's got a good line and all around the racetrack. I think the whole deal. Oh, Bill.
Got loose.
That's how you lose the position. He got in the corner really hard. The car took off. The back end got loose, and away Rusty went.
Still fighting to get it down low again.
I tell you, the next time he drove into that next corner, going into turn 1, that was a little edgy feeling because he didn't know why it had happened before. So.
Yeah, you got a little voice in there that says, I don't believe I want to do that again. I'm not going to go quite that deep in the next corner.
Now he's got a good feel for it now, and he can get back going.
Let's go back to 8th place. Terry Labonte and Mark Martin continue to run nose to tail.
That battle's been happening all day, too.
And we don't see a lot of passing at this stage in the race. I mean, you can't say people are just riding out there, but what is going on at this stage in the race?
Well, right now, you're adjusting your line around the racetrack. You got to remember, you're really fighting this race car to keep it down low on the racetrack, run this good groove and everything. Here we go. Earnhardt's up under Bill Elliott. Apparently, Bill's car has gotten extremely loose and hard to keep on the racetrack.
I think the big thing is the reason a lot of passing going on is most of the stuff that the cars that are running the same speed have just kind of equaled themselves out. And, you know, the front runners are the front runners and the 5th place cars are the 5th place cars. Now, if somebody gets towards the back, they work their way up. But, you know, everybody's running as hard as they can go right now. I mean, it used to be 10 years ago, you know, somebody would cruise and ended up running really good at the end of the race. But right now, it's a 100% battle, and everybody's doing everything they can do.
It's hard to explain to the fans as Earnhardt has now taken over 5th place. It's hard to see that they're not just riding around out there when they're single file like this.
Well, all they have to do is go in car with one of these cameras, and they'll see these drivers are not on a picnic out here. They're working their brains out right now, and they're thinking, what can I do to make this car perfect for that last set of tires?
Here's your leader, Jeff Gordon, as he moves around the Pennzoil Pontiac of Michael Waltrip. 320 laps are complete at the Rock. Trucks and Tractor Power returns next week at its regular time, 3 o'clock Eastern, next Sunday here on TNN Motorsports. Earnhardt completes the pass underneath Rusty Wallace, 4th place.
Boy, I tell you, you know, we were talking just a second ago, Ernie and I, and right now fatigue is a problem too. With this new pavement and everything, the car sticks so tight in the corner, you can't believe the G-forces you have on your neck. I mean, your whole body really starts aching right now, and the tougher people come to the front, I think.
I tell you, that's one thing we need to do is we could do it in our Texaco Avalon Ford is actually put a G meter in and find out how much G-forces that you actually get here, or certain racetracks are a little easier on others. And the big thing is you get them G-forces in the middle of the corner. And that's the one that pulls your neck over.
These cars are 8.5 seconds behind the race leader as Randy LaJoie comes back onto the racetrack. Repair of crash damage. There are very few cars officially retired from this race. They are Robert Presley, Greg Sachs, Jimmy Hensley is out. Davy Jones is retired for the day. So is Bobby Hamilton, and now Morgan Shepherd.
41 car that Earnhardt's going by there. That's one of the. I think, without a doubt, he's like Pete Hamilton used to be. Ricky Craven has so much driving ability, but right now he's finding out what 500 laps are all about here at Rockingham. You can start out and run really well, but I tell you what, until you've run here 500 laps, you don't know exactly what the body's going to do to you.
Craven has just gone one lap down.
Yes, he pushed Grand National Racing and all the races Ricky's ever done. He never raced 500 laps or 500 miles, and that's the thing. The fatigue will start growing in, and you know, you go home that night and you're saying, what the heck are them guys doing? I mean, I was running all I could, and they just passed me, you know? It's like, but then experience will get that going, and, you know, your body gets geared up for it, and you have to start being able to do it.
Give you an update on the rookies in the race today. There you see Craven, who is just one lap down. Steve Kinzer, And Randy LaJoy, Kinzer's made repairs, come back out from the garage area. Davy Jones and Robert Presley, as we reported, are out of the race. There's a look at Craven, the Newburgh, Maine driver, who won 2 Busch races last year, second in the Busch Series points. Jeff Gordon. He and the other Chevrolets have dominated this race. I think the Fords have led a total of 10 laps today.
That's Brett Bodine going by there with new colors for Lowe's. He's had a battle all day today.
Let's take a look back to the 4th place battle. You see it's about half a lap behind the leader. There's Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace racing for 4th. Bobby Labonte is 2nd. Ricky Rudd is 3rd. These 2 cars are 4th and 5th. Then it's Bill Elliott, Sterling Marlin, Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, and Derek Cope, the top 10. Steve Grissom, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, Kyle Petty, 14 cars on the lead lap.
I tell you, Jeff Gordon is just has a dominant race car today, and you know, it's a lot like Chad Little from yesterday. I mean, he just annihilated the field yesterday. And Mark Martin said, man, he said, I normally have that car, and he said I had that car again, but Chad Little was there.
You know, the one thing about this, you're looking at this race car, go around there and you say, boy, is that car perfect. You know what the race is all this right now? 1 pit stop, 1 yellow flag. You come in, get 1 set of tires, and maybe put 1 pound of air pressure too much in the right front, and you're the guy that's getting beat.
Yep.
Changes quickly. Jeff Gordon has led 205 of the 334 laps so far today. Now let's show you the distance from Gordon back to the 2nd place car as he moves up to put Kyle Petty a lap down. Here's Bobby Labonte, the Interstate Batteries Chevy. That's the gap from 1st to 2nd.
And Bobby's car does not look that bad, but Jeff Gordon is just getting around this racetrack phenomenally right now, and there's nothing Bobby can do about it. He's running as well as he can.
At this stage in the race, Gordon clearly has the superior car. Let's show you the distance from Labonte back to Ricky Rudd, the 3rd place car.
There's Ricky right there in the Tide Ride.
Just agitate the wash as he goes along.
How long have we had since our last green flag stops? I mean, are we getting close to a pit stop?
Well, the last caution was at lap 286. So we've run 50 laps since the last caution flag. There's your 4th place battle of Earnhardt and Wallace. We'll be right back to the Rock after this. .343 laps complete here. Jeff Gordon, your leader. Moving past Steve Kinzer. And Rusty Wallace has retaken 4th place from Dale Earnhardt. Just moved underneath it 1 lap ago and repeated the pass.
Now, a little while ago, Earnhardt passed him with ease. He looked at Earnhardt's line and kind of went to school on that, and that's what race car drivers do. They kind of watch each other, see where they're weak, where they're strong, and he adjusted his line around this racetrack, and now he's running a little better than Earnhardt.
So that puts Wallace 4th, behind Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Ricky Rudd. In the pits of that 24 car is Glenn Jarrett.
We're going to try to get a word with Ray Evernham. We have a report that the car is running a little hot. Ray, we hear it's running just a little hot. How hot is it?
Right now, the paper that was on the grill blew off, and it cooled back down, so we're in pretty good shape. We're going to maybe pit as normal, lap 270, 280, or 370, 380, something like that.
Okay, that answers our questions.
So they intend to run 90 to 100 laps on a tank of fuel. They have not had a full green flag run yet today.
I just wonder how many hot dog wrappers have took a guy out of a race. That little bit of paper over the grill of that race car had it running a little too hot, and they thought they might have to stop.
I'll tell you the other thing is, too, is these Chevrolet Monte Carlos, nobody's really actually done a lot of testing with those, so they really don't know how much they should open them up or close them up for the race. So I think they're learning a lot, too.
You'll note from the front of these cars there are air inlets up in the grill area and down in the spoiler area for getting air to the radiator and also cooling air to the brake ducts. On the front of the car, and a lot of that radiator inlet area is taped over at the start of the race. Jeff Gordon continues to whistle around this speedway.
With Derek Cope, he just went by in the corner there on the outside.
That Cope was on the lead lap.
When they said this car was running hot, I thought they meant fast, and it is running hot in that respect. That is a very fast race car.
That too. There is Derek Cope, who has just gone a lap down. He's in 13th position. First of the cars, one lap back. Finished 12th here in 1990. The straight arrow Ford. As we look back through the field, Dick Trickle was involved in one of the caution flags earlier. He's now in 23rd position. 11 laps off the pace after Bud Moore's crew made repairs.
Well, you can see the back of that car is ducked way down there, and that takes a lot of spoiler off the car and makes it hard to drive.
John Andretti had a close save with the wall in turn number 4. He is 15th, the first of the cars 2 laps down.
Tim Brewer will get this car in good shape, too.
Battle here. Earnhardt goes back around Rusty Wallace on the high side.
You take the high road. Now I'm not going to start singing, folks.
4th place.
Our director said thank you very much. The Hooter car there, that's Loy Allen Jr.
Now he is posted in 30th, 55 laps down. Sterling Marlin leads Bill Elliott around. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th. Terry Labonte, number 5, right with them. Those are all lead lap cars. Labonte going to make the pass under Bill Elliott.
And right behind that group, you saw the 6th car, Mark Martin.
Jeff Burton makes a pit stop. And he will be the first of the leaders to pit. He is 1 lap down. So there's Sterling in 6th. Labonte now 7th.
These guys are not that far from going a lap down. I would venture to say that it's 3 to 4 seconds intervals, maybe 5 seconds.
Ooh, Bill Elliott got real loose getting off the corner there. He's passing Sterling Marlin on the inside. But just a few minutes ago, Bill Elliott was in 3rd place and looked like he might have the car to come to the front. Now he's going back through the crowd there. The car's giving up a little bit on him.
I tell you, Mark Martin is really starting to fade. His cars really went away, whether it's a chassis or something, but you know, the handling's really gone out on that car.
There's the Valvoline Ford. These cars are just about 3 seconds from going a lap down.
Look at Dale Jarrett. He's starting to come back. You know, they seem to not run good for, you know, 20 laps or so, and then it starts coming. And I don't know if they're starting to run better in those runs or everybody else is just starting to back up more.
It's been a long run under green for these teams. Green flag pit stops have begun. Ricky Craven has made one, and so has Jeff Burton. There's Steve Grissom in the Meineke Chevy right behind. And we'll go back up front where Jeff Gordon puts lap 356 on the board. Darrell Waltrip's back out there. Now, how important are points? Waltrip is 40th position, 180 laps behind. He's still in there. We'll be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Look at Jeff Gordon trying to lap past Ward Burton from our steel aerial platform. Steel outdoor power equipment.
Boy, he's having a time getting by Burton. They've been fighting for about 3 or 4 laps there. He's finally got under him and they're making the pass there. Well, trying to make the pass. One thing you don't like to do is give up laps. Everybody says, well, why is he racing this guy and him lapping him over like that? Well, you still got to race hard. You don't want to get any more laps. Whoop.
No, and Ward Burton just got 4 new tires.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to race your own race. You don't just pull over and play dead every time the leader gets near you. That's Bill Elliott fixing to go a lap down. Not long ago, he was chasing the 24, some second and a half behind. Now he's really losing a lot of ground. I would say he'd probably come into pits pretty quick here and make his green flag stop.
And Bobby Labonte is catching Jeff Gordon. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, guys, as the strategy unfolds here, it looks like they're going to have to make green flag stops. Mark Martin has already made his stop for tires and fuel. As you said, Mike, Jeff Burton has made his. Terry Labonte should be coming down pit road anytime. That changes what they're going to be able to do to the cars. They don't have time to make very many chassis adjustments. They have to do it mostly with air pressure in the tires. Rusty Wallace is radioed in. He wants an adjustment on the right rear and to reduce the air pressure in the left side. Same for Kyle Petty. So they're all searching for the things that they can do under green flag stops that won't keep them in the pit, but won't cost them very much time on the racetrack. There's not a whole lot they can do, though. Right now, that 24 car and the 18 car seem to be the class of the field. It'll be interesting to see just exactly how much they're able to change the cars with those minute changes in air pressure.
Bobby Labonte is now close to less than 3 seconds behind Jeff Gordon. But part of that is because Jeff Gordon has had to work race traffic. He just put a lap on Steve Grissom and on Bill Elliott.
Boy, I tell you, he's really coming through there right now. But, boy, you know, he's doing a lot of things with that big a lead right now. He's really charging hard through these lap cars. He's got to be careful not to make or give this race away.
Well, definitely. You know, that's part of it. And, you know, Jeff's a good driver, and I'm sure that his crew's telling him that, you know, he's got a certain amount of a lead, and you know, take it easy on the traffic and make sure that you got something left to race him at the end.
Derek Cope makes a stop in the straight arrow Ford for tires and fuel.
I think most everybody's starting to do their pits. I noticed Bill Elliott's in the pits, and Dale Jarrett's getting ready to come in.
And Steve Grissom. Here's Randy.
4 tire change for Bill Elliott. The whole point was he was just getting ready to be a lap. So that, as opposed to running around another lap on tires that are old, that are not getting around as quick, they go ahead and change 4. Bill's down in the way. The 28 car is now in as well. Joey Knuckles going to work on the right front of the 28 car. Dale Jarrett also close to getting lapped. They might as well not run 2 or 3 more laps on slow tires when they can put some fresh ones on. They're around to the left side already. Eric Horn works the jack. Still up now. Dale Jarrett is down and away.
18.8. Good stop for Dale Jarrett. Terry Labonte getting serviced on the back pit road. A lot of water being squirted through the radiator inlet.
What they do there, of course, the radiator gets stuck up a lot by rubber off the racetrack and all, and they just clean the surface on the front there and try to shoot the cold water through the radiator.
Got Ricky Rudd and
Rusty Wallace.
Rusty Wallace,
third and fourth place cars. Here's Glenn.
Well, Ricky Rudd brings the Tide Ford in, and Jeff Bodine comes right by him a few pits on down. This will be a 4-tire change for Rudd just as well. The crew is already around to the left side. This looks like to be a pretty good pit stop, guys. I can't wait to hear what the time is on this thing. Ricky Rudd is down and away. 17.8 seconds. Great pit stop for Ricky Rudd.
18.5 for Rusty Wallace. 4 tires and fuel. Dick Trickle is in.
Ricky's crew's had a good pit stop about every time.
And Jeff Gordon is now one of just 3 cars left on the lead lap. He hasn't passed everyone on the racetrack, but everyone else has made pit stops except Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Earnhardt.
Mike, there's one thing these guys are praying for that's made the pit stops now. If a caution comes out, they're pretty much out of it.
So are we. You see how much faster Dale Jarrett is on new tires than Earnhardt. Jarrett was in just a couple of laps ago. There are 3 cars yet to pit in this round of green flag pit stops, and here is the leader.
Gordon down pit road.
45 miles an hour.
There comes Bobby Labonte, too.
Will Earnhardt follow them in?
I would say he'd be in pretty quick here.
Here's Randy.
Well, Doug Shack goes to work on the right front. Jimmy Maycar with the jack. And John Wolf on the right rear. The Interstate Batteries car got here first. We'll see what happens. They're around to the left side. The jack goes up 2.5 pumps. A little slow getting the left front tire on. Left rear was down, and he's down and away. Glenn Jarrett, what's going on up there?
Well, Jeff Gordon has brought it in, Randy, also for 4 tires. But 2 things they have to do late in the race. Number 1, they gave the grill a good cleaning. 21.2 seconds for Gordon. Also, they clean the windshield. The glare is getting real bad going into turn 1 down here.
And
Dale
now
Earnhardt now is coming down pit road in the Goodwrench Chevrolet. I imagine we'll see the very same thing for them. Andy Petrie and the crew waiting to go to work. Of course, Petrie will go around to the right front to change tires. Chocolate Myers putting the fuel in the car. We work our way back over to Dale. Again, the very same thing. You're seeing a good grill cleaning, and make sure you get that windshield clean. Boy, the sun is really bright down here. You really feel it right down here in turn 1. Little bit of a slow stop for these guys. I don't think that was one of their best. 19.1 wasn't all that bad, but there were a couple of guys that gained some time on them on that pit stop.
Len, what happened was David Smith, the jackman, we saw from the aerial shot, had to jump over a tire to get around the right side of the car, so it took a while, even with a 1.5 pump jack, to get the left side of Earnhardt's car up in the air. Uh-oh. Trouble on Terry Labonte.
Yeah, he was just in the pits about a lap ago, and they were shooting water in the front of the car there. Not a good sign when that bonnet comes up like that.
It looks like, to me, that Bobby Labonte's going to end up in the lead after all these pit stops. And he actually made up a couple seconds on Jeff Gordon and then actually come about in the lead another couple seconds ahead.
We'll check the scoring when we come back to Rockingham.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Uh-oh. Bobby Labonte out in front here. After pit stops, Jeff Gordon in second, Ricky Rudd in third, Earnhardt in fourth, Rusty Wallace is fifth, sixth is Mark Martin, seventh Sterling Marlin, eighth is Dale Jarrett, and ninth is Jeff Burton. Those 9 cars are on the lead lap. Here is Terry Labonte coming back into the pits. They had the hood up earlier.
Well, Mike had been reporting it's losing some fluids around the racetrack, and I'm sure right now he don't want to cause anything that might cost his brother the race either.
Water temperature's over 270.
Ooh, not good. Next thing that'll come out of those exhaust pipes is the babbitt out of the inside of the motor, so you got to be real careful.
Won't last long like that, will it, buddy?
Nope.
The water temperature.
Even that chicken looks a little unhappy on the hood there.
Yes, it does. And Terry had a great race going. You can see the smoke out of the exhaust
steam
pipes
out of
now.
the exhaust pipe. That means the head's got a split in it or the block.
For his younger brother, what a great day for Bobby Labonte.
Oh,
Very
man.
impressive performance for he and Jeff Gordon.
Well, I guess Gibbs feels pretty blessed. He's already won a Nationals with Pentagon in his drag racing efforts, and now he's leading the Winston Cup race here with Bobby Labonte. He's really got to feel good about it.
Well, my understanding was that Joe Gibbs would not release Dale Jarrett from his contract unless Gibbs could get the driver he wanted, and he wanted Bobby Labonte, if Dale Jarrett was going to leave.
Well, I think Bobby Labonte is certainly an up-and-coming star, and he's proven it today. This guy's got all the tools. He's good-looking. He does well on TV, and really the kind of guy I'd go after if I owned a race team.
Our 800 number still in use. If you want to call in a question to us here in the booth or down in the pits, 1-800-451-7331. Gary from New Jersey wants to know why you can't adjust the setup from inside the car instead of having to do it on pit stops.
It's a NASCAR rule, and you're not able to. You could actually do it if the rules would permit you for it, but NASCAR doesn't want any adjustable stuff from the driver. You actually can't even have an adjustable sway bar. A lot of times you can actually put a sway bar that you could actually have a bar, and you could actually turn it straight and then make it flex and things. And NASCAR won't allow that.
After watching that suspension there on Waltrip's car, I'm not sure that I would want to be able to adjust my car. I can see where I'd get in a lot of trouble with too many handles in there.
All right, another question came in about the brakes, and you see the heat in Darrell Waltrip's brakes. The pads, we know, are performance friction supplies them to all these teams. They're carbon metallic, but is there a requirement the rotors be steel? Can they use carbon rotors?
No, they're not allowed to use carbon rotors either, and that's just something to keep the cost away from NASCAR Winston Cup racing, because a rotor like that would probably have $2,000 or $3,000 a rotor expense. So it's something to keep from spending that much money.
Steve Kinzer down on the apron as we look at the rear suspension, the left rear on Darrell Waltrip's car.
Look how much that left rear tire is actually flexing in as he goes through the corner there. You can see it pulling away.
Now you see the brace coming down at the top of the screen. That's just a fender brace. It's adjustable for length there.
That's the trailing arm there, the back of the trailing arm, and where the shock hooks. You see the shock, that silver line that goes straight up in the air there. Boy, I mean, that's a very critical place on the race car right there.
Makes me nervous looking at that.
There's old DW. Now, we told you he was 40th when he came back out here at 175 laps. He is now up in 38. And in 5 more laps, he'll gain 2 more spots.
That's why you never give up.
Right. That's 10 more points. Well, no, it's 6 more points.
That's right, 6 more points.
Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace have run nose to tail. I was going to say all day, but for about the last 3 or 4 years.
You know, they're good friends, but this is getting ridiculous. They've been racing each other for the last 200 miles, and it's been a car length and a half. One will lead for a while, and then they'll see a little something that they can make a move on them, and the other car will pass. But these 2 guys have been glued together since the start of the race. You know, the other day I was doing an after-dinner speech with the Green Flag Club out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and I got to see something I want everybody to take time and do sometime during the year, the Special Olympics. I'm going to tell you something. There wasn't a dry eye in the house when we saw how much these people put into what they do. And it's just a great bunch of kids. And they asked this one kid, said, "Show Mr. Baker your gold medal to Nisa." And the little girl said, "Oh, Dad." And I tell you what, it really did warm me up.
Now, this year, the World Special Olympics will be held in my home state of Connecticut. And those kids, boy, they have a lot of heart and desire, and they are fiercely competitive. No less so than these 2 drivers right here, Sterling Marlin and Dale Jarrett, nose to tail for 7th place. Not anymore.
Not anymore. Boy, that's kind of impressive there. Looked like Ernie was in that car just for a second there.
It sure is. The leaders are coming.
100 laps from the finish as Rusty Wallace is on pit road. This is unexpected.
He's got something on the front of that car. Looks like a piece of paper.
Randy?
The car is not running. It may have been a piece of paper. I heard nothing about it overheating. Obviously, the hood is now up. They bailed in. They're talking about, they think the engine is broke. It was shut off when it came by. Yeah, they're dejected. No question about it.
He was in the pits just 26 laps ago. Wallace, who has had such success here, may fail to finish his 2nd straight Winston Cup race. Crash at Daytona. And an engine seized right here.
You see that hose? They're putting water in it right now, so he may run it out of water.
We'll see. Let's go back and have a look at a happier Rusty Wallace moment at Rockingham here some years ago. Kyle Petty struck it rich with his 1990 Rockingham victory. Besides prize and bonus money totaling just under $300,000, car owner Felix Sabates gave Kyle a Rolls Royce to celebrate his 3rd Winston Cup victory. Here's the Ford Buddy Baker race driving tip brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
During pit stops, drivers are more than spectators. They have to control the car even when it stops. Drivers use 2 techniques in pit road. Some will take the car out of gear. Their left foot works the brake while the right foot pumps the throttle to keep the engine RPMs up. Other drivers leave the car in gear. They engage the clutch with the left foot while the right foot does double duty. The toe works the brake and the heel the accelerator. No matter which method the driver chooses, leaving the pits is the same. Release the clutch and stand on the gas. Always careful to look for the other traffic.
There's a look at the rock at the US 1 entrance to the North Carolina Motor Speedway. This man's been solid as a rock, Bobby Labonte.
Boy, I'd say. He comes in the pits pretty good, folks. I'll tell you that. He's also going around the racetrack very well right now. Jeff Gordon hasn't really closed that much, but he's about 8 or 10 car lengths back, so Bobby cannot make a mistake right now because Jeff Gordon's on his way.
And they cannot go the distance on fuel and tires. There will be at least one more stop. Jeff Gordon is 2nd. Ricky Rudd is 3rd. fourth is Dale Earnhardt. Mark Martin now the fifth place car, and Rusty Wallace is back in the race. There's Terry Labonte limping around the bottom of the racetrack. But they added water to Wallace's car, and he is back up to speed. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Robin Pemberton, what happened? Overheated, and what can you do about it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's been running 190 to 200, and I guess it just started to push a little water out. It's more important to finish at this point than it is anything, so we'll see.
Well, it was obvious that he was completely out of water. They brought the hose over, and they put a tremendous amount of water in there. He's off the speed right now. Here comes Gordon on the inside, trying to take the lead away from Bobby Labonte.
I tell you, those two have battled a lot, you know, in the Busch Grand National ranks, and it's good to see that Busch Grand National ranks are actually coming up and actually being some of the real contenders in Winston Cup.
Well, I can remember, you can look in the mirror and you could see these guys that you were beating pretty regular, and all of a sudden they were up there and you were the one trying to catch them. Changing the guard is not always popular, but it happens.
Just 35 laps ago, Jeff Gordon was nearly 3 seconds back of Bobby Labonte, so he has really run him down.
Well, Jeff just got a good rhythm right now, and he's not making any mistakes, and he's driving as hard as he possibly can. Bobby Labonte's getting around the racetrack well, but he's not quite as well as Jeff Gordon is.
You know, I wonder if Mark Martin took on 2 tires on his pit stop, because he actually come out ahead of them, and I thought Mark had actually got a lap down before he actually pitted.
He did. He was lapped before he pitted.
Lapped. He did.
He was just lapped. And he and Dale Jarrett have both been climbing the racetrack these last few laps.
Well, Dale Jarrett got up there and almost took a piece of that wall just a second ago. He went a little bit high and got in the loose stuff on the top part. The dust flew, and we all kind of held our breath, but he was able to keep it off the wall.
So Jeff Gordon leads Bobby Labonte by just that much. 412 laps complete, 80 to go here at the Rock at TNN's first Winston Cup telecast of 1995. We'll be right back. Jeff Gordon continues to lead. Mark Martin has made an unscheduled pit stop after going a lap down to Gordon. He came back in. Martin had pitted 56 laps ago. Got right side tires, fuel, and a clean windshield. He can go the distance from here. Here's Ricky Craven, Kodiak Chevy, on pit road at lap 419. Randy LaJoie with crash damage. Gordon moves on by. And there's Mark Martin. Now he is now 2 laps down. He and Loy Allen almost get together.
He tipped his hat at him and just thank you very little, and next time give me a little more room, I think, was that little gesture down the back straightaway there.
Yeah, it sure was.
They gave a hard wipe to the windshield. How do you drive like this?
Well, you can see, now you can see the racetrack, but I'm telling you, getting into turn 1, I've been in there many a time and run in the back of the car and didn't see it.
Now the angle's a little different where Mark sits than where our camera is, but there is still quite a glare on that windshield.
Well, we're getting ready to come down the front straightaway, and I'm going to show you that there's very little visibility. Right about here is where the pit, that's the start-finishing line. From there into the corner, pretty hard to see anything.
It's definitely hard, but it's definitely not as hard in the race car
as it is there. That camera's way back, but
the
it's
camera's
still pretty
backing
bad.
up, but definitely it's always been a problem here. Darlington, Rockingham, so quite a few racetracks that have that problem.
Now the fall race in October here will be 400 miles.
Thank you.
The AC Delco 400. If this race had been 400 miles, of course, the new point, Bobby Labonte would have taken the checkered flag. But we go the 500-mile distance. Jeff Gordon leading Bobby Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, and Steve Grissom is now the 5th place car.
Ooh, you see Jeff Gordon having to dive low there to miss a lapped-over car.
Yeah, that was Jeff Burton, who was just in the pits 2 laps ago and is very slow coming around the racetrack. Gordon right behind Derek Cope and overlapping Joe Nemechek. Here's your 2nd place car, Bobby Labonte. The Interstate Battery Chevrolet.
I can tell by Burton's car that he got in the wall on the back straightaway over there. That's why he was running slow. It's pretty well banged up on the right-hand side.
2 Chevrolets in front. Would you believe Chevy has only won 1 of the last 15 races here at Rockingham? And that was Earnhardt in October.
Well, I have to believe it. I know Greg Fielding never lies, but that's hard to believe.
Here's Jeff Bodine, had to make an unscheduled pit stop under green. He lost 10 laps. He's now 11 laps down. He's in 21st position. Here's his brother Brett Bodine. They started on the second row together, and our condolences to the family of Sid Winningham, who was the jackman for Junior Johnson's team, lost his life in a highway accident on the way home from the race shop earlier this week. So our best wishes to the sadness that they've experienced this week. Here's Sterling Marlin, the Daytona 500 winner, 9th place, 1 lap down. And Steve Grissom, top 5 for Grissom. What a run he's having today. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, Mike, he had a great run at Daytona also, and I have to believe that it's due to the expertise and leadership of Buddy Parrott. Since he came on with that team, he's really straightened them out. We've always known that Steve was a good race driver. I think we're starting to see just how good he is right now. When he's got the equipment under him, he can do the job. Steve's a big, strong boy. 500 miles here at Rockingham don't seem to be bothering him. He has run in the top 10 throughout most of the day. Has now worked his way, as you say, up in the 5th place. I think we're going to see this out of this young man an awfully lot this year. Buddy Parrott's made a heck of a difference to that race team.
Steve Grissom in the Meineke Muffler Chevy in 5th place. Behind him on the racetrack, there's Sterling Marlin in 9th. 2 laps back.
Sterling looks like he's getting ready to pit. Well, no, maybe he's not.
And Ted Musgrave was involved in one of the incidents earlier. Musgrave back out is 125 laps down after putting up his best finish ever at the Daytona 500. He was in the first caution of the day. John Andretti, number 37, Kmart Little Caesars Pizza. Ford Thunderbird.
Still cooking.
11th place, 3 laps down.
One of them pizzas would sure taste good right now.
Yes, they would. Or we could go to Hardee's.
Yeah,
here's,
go to Hardee's.
Here's Ward Burton. And Ward is 3 laps back after taking a provisional start. He is the 12th place car. Dale Jarrett is 1 lap down now. He was on the lead lap for most all day. He's in 6th place.
And we could stop at Texaco too.
And Mark Martin, after that unscheduled stop, he is 2 laps down.
You know, I just thought I was seeing a little bit of smoke coming out the back of the 6th car as he went in the corner there. And this, as you go along in this race, that can be terminal this time in the race.
Next on the racetrack, Dave Marcus, who will carry Olive Garden for most of the Winston Cup schedule, has Terramite Construction here. A lot of smoke off the back straightaway. Turn 2, a spin. 1 car down the bottom of the racetrack. It's Bobby Labonte.
I don't see any damage. I think he just got around backwards there.
He stays out on the racetrack. He should stay on the lead lap. Looking for Jeff Gordon to come around. So we'll check that. There were only 4 cars on the lead lap since Grissom had gone 1 lap down. All right, here's Gordon back to the flag to complete lap 433. And here comes Labonte. So he will stay on the lead lap. Here's what happened. It was way up in turn 2.
He's right by himself, so what he probably did is got back in the throttle, got the back end out, and around he went. He was very lucky not to get hit by oncoming cars.
Didn't look like any contact. I don't see any damage on the car.
Still looks like he should be on the lead lap and come in, change 4 tires, and be ready to go again.
But this caution flag, in fact, he didn't even lose a position. He is still the 2nd place car.
That shows a lot of class, boy. If you're going to spin, do it and don't lose a position. That's great.
Yeah. Well, that will leave, the timing of the caution flag will leave just 4 cars on the lead lap. Glenn?
Mike, I'm going to speculate. There are a couple of cars out there that have had some problems that are putting fluid on the racetrack. And I can see it as they're going into turn 1 here. And I'm sure it's doing the same thing going into turn 3. I've seen a couple of cars slip and slide after those cars go by. Down here in the pits, Jeff Gordon has brought the DuPont Chevrolet in for 4 tires and fuel. Also, Dale Earnhardt has just pulled up. We were talking earlier a while ago that there might have been a little bit of tire shortage. Nobody has any problems right now. And here comes Bobby Labonte down pit road. Looks like he'll stay in 2nd.
That he will. And either Ricky Rudd or Dale Earnhardt will be third coming out of the pits. It will be Earnhardt. Those are the only cars on the lead lap at the moment. Pit stops complete after this latest caution. Pace car has the field in tow. 4 cars on the lead lap at this moment. Here's your AutoZone Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Glenn?
Well, guys, we talked a while ago there might be a tire shortage. This is the next set of tires ready to go on to number 3, Goodwrench Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt. But look right here. It says 87 Nimco. Those are Joe Nemechek tires. What are they doing here? Well, in addition to having a great car owner, a great crew chief, a great engine builder, you got to have a great horse trader. This outfit has it. Donald Hawks, the vice president and general manager of RCR Racing, traded 2 sets of scuff tires off of Earnhardt's car with Joe Nemechek's crew for 2 sets of new sticker tires. Now, that's a pretty good trade. But when I had my Honda dealership, man, I wish I'd have had a guy like that. He could trade used stuff for new stuff. No tire shortage here. They got plenty of stickers down here in Earnhardt's pit.
Glenn, you make up for it on the volume. Here's Randy.
Well, as far as fluid being laid down on the track, NASCAR hasn't said anything about it. Bobby Labonte, evidently somebody came down on him. Didn't clip him, didn't touch him. I went up, I asked Coach Joe Gibbs, I said what he said. He said, somebody came down on him. So that's basically what it was. He didn't get in any fluid whatsoever.
There must have been Rocket Man Pierre, because there wasn't anybody in the same turn with him when we looked at it.
Green flag at lap 439 to begin lap 439. 54 laps to go.
Okay, Earnhardt's been in. I'm sure they made some adjustments on him. He's running in 3rd place right now. The 2 young men right in front of him have run 1st and 2nd for so long now. But he's got to turn the wick up, I'll tell you that, to get by these boys.
Bill Elliott is 3 laps down. Bobby Labonte sweeping high, and Earnhardt right in his tire tracks, and so is Ricky Rudd, the outside pole sitter.
Can never count Ricky out because he is a great race car driver, but I don't think he's fast enough to give those guys a real fight today.
So far, it's been a Chevrolet day. Rudd is in a Ford.
Yeah, I tell you, Ricky just hasn't showed the speed, but I'm not going to count him out because there's still a few laps left, and I think that now it's time to show his stuff.
I think we're seeing it. Look at Jeff Gordon pull away, and look at Bobby Labonte distance Earnhardt just a bit.
Yeah, and everybody got a little respite there, too. The caution was just about long enough to kind of let you kind of get it, adjust you back in the seat, get a little more comfortable, and now it's just going to be the guy that wants it the most.
And has the best horse.
A lot of times it's not the horse, though. It's kind of like the arrow. You don't blame the arrow. It's the Indian a lot of times,
It didn't take long for the front 3 to settle out here. Now 1 lap down, you have Steve Grissom battling Dale Jarrett. And 2 laps back, you have Mark Martin fighting with Sterling Marlin and Derek Cope. 3 laps down, Bill Elliott, Kyle Petty, John Andretti, and Ward Burton. 50 laps to go. Show you where your favorite driver is with the Napa Field Standing Update. Napa, we keep America running. Labonte coming back to Jeff Gordon.
Looks to me like he has pulled back just a little bit. He's been very strong on new tires, and as the run goes along, Jeff has been able to make a move on him. But right now, it looks like Bobby Labonte's moving in on Jeff Gordon.
Got to remember, Bobby Labonte also just got done spinning out, so he was going to be a little easy on himself.
Less than 50 laps to go. We'll see how this one sorts out when we come back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN is brought to you by Split Fire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it.
Your race leaders are now nose to tail in traffic Bobby Labonte has caught Jeff Gordon. 41 laps to go.
Bobby is driving the wheels off this car right now. He's going in the corner hard as he has all day long. I don't think he run this hard in the first part of the race. And Jeff Gordon, of course, is getting around quite well, too.
Rusty Wallace was black flagged. The hood is up on the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. And Wallace will fall out of the top 20.
I wonder if Hendricks is sitting over there. Maybe I shouldn't have built this motor quite this good for the second place car. But no, that's one thing about Rick Hendricks. If you buy something from him, it's as good as he's got. Believe you me.
And a tip of the hat to Randy Dorton, head of Hendrick Engines. They power both these cars. Now, if Gordon wins, he's eligible for a $91,000 bonus available only to the pole winner. If you win from the pole, Unical puts that up. It's worth $7,600 each race, and it adds like a skins game kind of bonus. It ratchets up $7,600 each week until somebody wins it. Now it's worth over 90 grand.
Well, that'd be worth 4/10 to me. I can tell you that right now.
Now Bobby Labonte wins. Of course, he's already spun. If he goes on to win, not the first time that's happened here either.
No, you remember Richard Petty did that in 1970 and come back and won by 3 laps. So it's happened before.
It's a spin and win game, right?
In the World 600 at Charlotte in 1973, Buddy Baker spun driving the K&K Dodge and came back to win.
Oh, I had them all day.
You didn't even remember that, buddy.
Boy, these front 2 cars have moved away from Earnhardt. They're about almost a half a turn in front right now.
Well, tell me again about experience. Here's 23-year-old Jeff Gordon leading 30-year-old Bobby Labonte. We're all those experienced guys.
Well, experience, you know, sometimes youth and just enthusiasm puts them up there. But these boys are good race car drivers. They're winners, past champions and everything else in all kind of divisions. It's not like when you go to a Winston Cup race, the last place man is probably a state champion somewhere.
True. Experience, by the way, is sitting in 3rd place. 7-time champion Dale Earnhardt and Ricky Rudd, who was Rookie of the Year back in 1977, sitting in 4th. By the way, Opryland USA, the parent company of the Nashville Network, is proud to announce that Opryland has been selected as the official destination of NASCAR. Prompted one driver to say, when I win the Daytona 500, I'm not going to Mouseland, I'm going to Opryland.
Man, do you love Nashville or what? That's a great town.
Yeah, I do. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, and Ricky Rudd. We'll be right back. There are the leaders. Around the 24-degree banking of the Rock and into the front straightaway. Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte.
Bobby made a run just a second ago and got up about 3 or 4 car lengths behind Jeff Gordon. And it's like Jeff looked in the mirror and said, see you in a minute.
Looks like youth and enthusiasm may prevail over experience and treachery today.
Well, I tell you, you can look at the 24 car of Jeff Gordon and see why he's running as well as he is. He can pass outside, inside. The car is really working well, and Ray Evernham and all these guys that work on the 24 car are just really a great team. I know that they got a lot of heat in Daytona when the jack slipped and crushed the front fender on the car, but those things happen with race teams. You see how well they come back from it.
Well, the select panel has voted the Mechanic of the Race Award, brought to you by Western Auto. Let's go to the pits.
Well, Jimmy Makar, certainly he's the man that was given Western Auto Mechanic of the race as he watches his boy, Bobby Labonte, go by. Man, these guys are intense. He knows we're ready for him. Jimmy, you're Western Auto Mechanic of the race. We just thought we'd congratulate.
Oh, I really appreciate that a lot. This says a lot for this team. It's not my name's on that deal, but this whole Interstate Batteries race team did a fantastic job all winter putting some new bodies on all these cars and building new cars, a new shop, new driver. To come out of the box and run this strong, it just makes me really proud of them.
Can you win this thing?
I think so. I really do. I don't know how much the 24's got left. I think Bobby's got a little left. We'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be a heck of a race.
Well, Jeff Gordon just got a big break in traffic as Bobby Labonte got squeezed in by a lapped car.
Oh, he was up side by side and got pushed up by a lap-over car there, but Bobby Labonte was there and just got cut off.
And he's back.
So
He's closed that distance back in.
Well, they said they had something left, and it looks like it.
What do you think, Ernie?
I don't know. I hope he has something left just to have a good race. But, you know, I find it hard to believe that you're just sitting there riding. So I could never do that.
I'm with you, pal. They'd be changing the fluids in that steering linkage right now on me.
Let's go to Glenn.
Well, let's see what Ray Abraham has to say about that. Ray, can you hold him off?
Well, I'm driving as hard as I can from up here. I don't know. I think so. The 18's got an awful good car. You know, hats off to those guys. But, you know, my money's on Jeff.
You got anything left if you need it?
I can't hear you.
Do you have anything left if you need it?
A little bit.
Truth or Consequences coming up here on TNN, perhaps, right after this commercial break. We're under 25 laps to go here. Jeff Gordon trying to hold off Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, and Ricky Rudd, third and fourth. And a great battle between Steve Grissom and Dale Jarrett. That's going on one lap down for the fifth spot. We'll pick those up when we come back to Rockingham right after this. Inside of 20 laps to go. I'm Mike Joy with Ernie Irvin and Buddy Baker. Glenn Jarrett and Randy Pemberton in the pits for TNN. And what a battle we have had when we went to break. Ooh, smoker down the front straightaway. Dale Jarrett and Steve Grissom.
Rusty Wallace on the inside of the racetrack there.
But Dale Jarrett worked all over the back of Steve Grissom for about 10 laps and finally worked his way past. Grissom is fighting for his first ever top 5 finish. Dale Jarrett has fifth. Grissom wants it back. They are one lap down.
Well, as you can see there, Dale Jarrett cannot stay on the bottom of the racetrack. He goes in, the car sweeps up a little bit. Grissom's able to pull it right down low.
And
yeah,
Rusty
I tell
Wallace
you,
comes back to pit road.
It's a heck of a battle going on right now because everybody wants to get at least that top 5.
And Wallace goes to the garage no better than 23rd on the day. Now, Dave Marcus could overtake him for that spot.
Well, Steve Grissom's driving his heart out right now. You know, you can't pull for anybody, but you got to pull for this guy to do well because he drove a whale of a race today, even though he is a lap down. He got caught one time there and a little bit out of sync, but he drove his heart out all day.
Grissom is 31 years old.
Oh, it's an age thing today. Is that it?
It seems to be. Now, Jeff Gordon will get back into race traffic, see how he deals with it, and if Bobby Labonte will have another opportunity to close on Jeff Gordon.
Well, these cars are fighting for position, even though they're several laps back right now. And when Jeff gets in there, he hopes he catches it clean as he did right there on Jeremy Mayfield when he makes the pass going in the corner.
Here's Randy.
Rusty Wallace has retired the Miller Genuine Draft 4. Tough break, a tough way to start the season. 2 DNFs, not what you wanted.
No, we're way behind. It's unbelievable. But the same thing happened as happened last year. It's had a suffering from overheating problem. There's some type of internal problem in the engines for the last 4 or 5 races, and we thought it was the grills and the radiators, but it's not that. There's something in the engine. So the boys are going to have to find it before Richmond next weekend. It's been plaguing us like crazy. We can't get rid of it, but we'll find it.
Teams such as this, do you get any support from Ford to help find something like that, or does that come from the team?
No, we'll call in all the support all we can from Ford because there's something here wrong that we don't know what is. And we had a good 3rd, 4th place car today. The Chevrolets, man, they're really flying. So we'll just see what happens. We'll go to Richmond and take it from there.
And that's the attitude of a champion race driver. We'll get them next week.
You have to have that. You can't just give up because you get beat one week.
10 laps to go.
Jeff Gordon has been flawless up to now, but look how close Bobby Labonte is. Any little slip on the racetrack and they're side by side again, fighting it out for the win.
By the way, Rusty Wallace and Bobby Hamilton got together, discussed last week's incident. Our understanding is that Wallace apologized for his remarks made in the heat of battle. Video showed that the 2 cars got together coming to the caution flag. And both drivers agree we'll leave that at Daytona, go on and run as best we can. Hope nothing like that happens again.
That's what you do, because a lot worse than that will happen before the end of the year with a lot of other people. So you can't make one thing, you know, upset your whole year.
No. Jeff Gordon is 9 laps away from what would be his 3rd Winston Cup victory. 2 last year, Charlotte and Indianapolis.
Impressive wins. The man sitting right beside him, he was fighting with him at Indianapolis for the win and had a flat tire. So, you know, anything can happen this close to the end of the race.
For sure, it was 5 to go when we had a flat at Indy. So, you know, we don't wish bad luck on anybody, but you just got to always remember the race is always doesn't end until the checkered flag drops.
You know, this car still looks, it's running a little higher on the racetrack, but still looks as good as it did at the start of the day.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as not varying his line or anything, there's his wife, Brooke.
I guess. Boy, you talk about a future. Both of them have a great future. I mean, with Jeff Gordon, he's 23 years old, and he's already won several times, and it looks like he's on his way to another win here.
Bobby Labonte in 2nd. Dale Earnhardt at 43 years old in 3rd, and Ricky Rudd, who is 38, in 4th.
I just seen that 24 car twitch quite a bit in the middle part of that corner there, like it might be getting a little bit loose. That could have something to do with this thing. I'm not trying to build anything, but he is getting just a bit loose.
Well, it's heated up for 5th place. Dale Jarrett and Steve Grissom, 5 laps to go. A little contact there. And Jarrett takes the spot, and Grissom can't jump back underneath.
Well, what Grissom's trying to do now is position himself under Jarrett getting in the corner, but I tell you what, that 28 car is really going down the straightaway pretty well.
They're going to lap past Lake Speed. I'll show you what happened there a minute ago. Closing laps.
Okay, Grissom looks like he just checked up a little bit. Might have got a little bit loose, backed out of the throttle, and 28 car nailed him in the back.
Yeah, it sure looked like he just got a little loose, and they just got together.
Fighting for 5th place. With 4 laps to go.
4 laps to go, man. You know, nothing's easy in racing. These guys are a lap down. They're fighting for 4th and 5th right now, and they're really going at it. Say for 5th. Ricky Rudd's just in front of them. He's already got the 4th place tied up, I think, because he has such a lead over the 2.
Lap ahead of them. How about Dale Earnhardt? He's going to get this season started off chasing his 8th championship, a 2nd at Daytona, what looks like a 3rd here at Rockingham.
That's what we talked about at the beginning of the show. Is about, you know, consistency is what it's all about. And if you actually go back to the year before, last year, Dale's runs at the last 10 or 12 races, I think you could figure out how many top 5s there was.
White flag for Jeff Gordon. 1 lap away from his 3rd career victory in Winston Cup racing. And the 39th win for Hendrick Motorsports.
Textbook win. If you want to know how to win at Rockingham, just watch this 24 car and go back and study what he did all day. That car does not have a mark on it from running into anybody. It's just been very quick.
For the win, Jeff Gordon, career victory number 3. Bobby Labonte, best career finish, 2nd place today. 3rd will be Earnhardt, 4th Ricky Rudd. Here's the battle for 5th. 5th place, Dale Jarrett, and a career high 6th place finish for Steve Grissom.
When the net blowing there.
Boy, the youth movement is alive and well in Winston Cup racing. It'll be Jeff Gordon going to victory lane. We'll meet him there when we come back. Donald Thomas was 20 years old when he won at Lakewood Speedway in Atlanta in 1952. Fireball Roberts was 21 when he won at Hillsborough, North Carolina in 1950 for his first win. Bobby Hillen won at age 22 at Talladega last year at age 22. This man first went to victory lane. Today, win number 3 for Jeff Gordon. Here's Glenn Jarrett, victory lane.
Jeff Gordon is just now unbuckling, got a cold bottle of water there. Jeff, what a great run. That car was awesome.
Oh, man, it sure was. I tell you, unbelievable day for the DuPont Chevrolet. The new Monte Carlo is an awesome car. And, you know, I never thought we'd have them like we did today. And we had some downfalls. I mean, we had to work real hard. This is a long race. God, I mean, I'm worn out. Halfway through, I was like, God, my muscles are hurting already. But I tell you what, this one's for Brooke. Today's our 3rd month anniversary of being married. So that unit count bonus we might get us to pull. This is awesome. Awesome day.
Well, now you can tell that young man, even though he's only been married 3 months, he knows the right things to say. Jeff, one more question before you get out. The car was so good, it looked like at times there that you couldn't back off even if you wanted to. I mean, you look like you got a pace going, a rhythm going, that the car just worked so well, you didn't really have to slow down much.
Well, I tell you, the car was awesome in 1 and 2. I mean, we just had him killed in 1 and 2. Bobby, I tell you, my hat's off to Bobby Labonte. He drove a heck of a race. I'm happy for him because he finished second. I think that's his best ever Winston Cup finish. So, you know, he had us beat a little bit down 3 and 4 until we got on old tires. On new tires, I did not want a caution. If we would have had a caution at the end, we would have had our hands full. But, man, the longer we ran green, the better that thing was. And we had to work on it. Wasn't that you know, perfect at the beginning. Came to us, track came to us, Ray Evernham, that crew chief, and those Rainbow Warriors, man, they did a heck of a job.
They all did a heck of a job. Jeff Gordon ready to get out of here and do a little celebrating. Randy Pemberton?
Bobby Labonte standing here talking to a few reporters. Bobby, great effort. You got to be happy with it, although you were just ever so close to your first Winston Cup win.
I tell you what, you know, this is a great race team. You know, they did a great job. You know, it's just we were just close, but tell you what, you got to lose one to win one, and you know, Jeff did a great job today. His car was really awesome, and you know, we got the same motors. Hendrick Motorsports does ours, and Interstate Battery, Chevrolet, Shell, Food Line, EDS, Goodyear, all the guys. You know, they did a great job, and it's been a lot of fun. You know, we had a pretty good 2 weeks, I guess you might say, but kind of makes you mad over last weekend now if we know what we could have done, I guess.
Is there any ifs and buts there? Another precaution, anything that could have helped you with another pit stop?
No, I was afraid I might be the next caution again, so I didn't want to make...
What was the deal on that yellow?
I went in there, and I was on the outside of the 8 car, and I know the sun's pretty bright right there, and he'd already messed up the right side, and I guess he was pushing a little bit, so just got up there into him. Thank goodness we didn't get wrecked any worse than we did.
A little stiff getting out of the car. Tell us what it feels like to go 500 miles.
It's not what you want to do every day, but I hadn't done this in a while, so this is it might wear me out a little bit, but I'll get him next week.
Bobby Labonte.
What a great run for this young driver at age 31. Second place, his best finish ever. Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light taking the country by storm present the Pit Crew of the Race Award. Glenn?
And right back here in victory lane, Mike, Ray Evernham. Last week, the clouds were on the Rainbow Warriors. This week, the sunshine returned. You found the pot of gold. What a rebound. We're proud to present you with the Miller Genuine Draft Pit Crew of the Race Award.
Well, thank you very much. It makes me really proud of my guys to accept this because that's my son, Ray J. He's pretty proud of them, too. But it makes me really proud. They came back from a deal last week, and it kind of hurt us, but Jeff kind of pulled us through and kept up the momentum. He came here and drove his butt off, and the guys put a good car under him. We're really happy.
Well, congratulations again. I'm going to get out of the way. Ray J wants to talk to his dad. Randy?
Hey, we ran into Dale Earnhardt. Got changed pretty quick, Dale. Hey, that's a championship run, though. It wasn't a win, but that's what it takes.
Well, coming from 23rd, that wasn't bad, but the car worked pretty decent. It just got tighter as the day went on. The car got real tight, and that hurt us off the corner. We couldn't run with them as far as horsepower, and then the car with it tight off the corner. But still, Andrew and Spinney and all the guys, they did a great job. Richard, and we just got a good race car and a good team.
29-point lead going into Richmond. What do you got for him up there on the flat track?
Well, hopefully, we got a new short track car, and hopefully we'll be just right. That's a good place for us, too.
Good job today.
Looks like a championship chase. Mark Martin second in the points, 29 behind Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon comes from 22nd to 7th in the points. A little early to start talking about points, not too early to start thinking about them.
I tell you, this is when the championship hunt starts right now. I mean, it was real important at Daytona, but now we're going to find out what guys are made of. And, you know, I know that all the Hendricks teams are real strong, and Jeff Gordon's probably going to be the one that's leading the Hendricks team. But we still got to realize Dale Earnhardt is the one that has the most experience at this championship hunt. And we're knowing he's going to be tough.
3 Chevrolets led 2 Fords to the checkered flag today. We'll be right back to Rockingham after this. We'll take a second to remind you that the Hardee's Frisco 250 Busch Grand National Race is our next telecast live from Richmond, 1 p.m. Eastern Time this coming Saturday. Be sure to join us for all the action there. Let's get down to Randy Pemberton.
Caught up with Ricky Rudd in the garage here. Ricky, you look pretty good for going 500 miles. How's that?
Well, we have plenty of rest stops along the way, plenty of cautions, and that usually makes it a little easier on the driver. But you know, our car drove real good all day. We were just a little bit off. About the first third of the race, I thought we might have something. Could run with these guys, and but I was pulling a lot of water temperature, and it was kind of a catch-22. If I pulled tape off, the car would have started pushing. We rode in there real tight. It would have run hot on us. So it was kind of a combination. I said, we'll wait to the end of the race and we'll crank it on. And end of the race got there. We laid into it, but we couldn't run with him at the end. So we're real proud of the guys that have tied forward to put us up in the top 5 today.
I was telling Earnhardt he finishes 3rd. That's a championship-type run, though, that you had as well. I mean, you can't win them all.
Well, you know, you take your losses on your bad days, and if this is a bad day, and, you know, I could live with this all year long. It's a 4th-place finish, and we're going to get better. You know, this team's still young. This is a brand-new race car, new concept of race car. We're not really used to working with it. We learned a little bit with it today, so we're going to carry it to Richmond and see if we can't do a little better with it.
Okay, good luck up there. Glenn Jarrett.
Okay, Randy, thanks for standing by with the best-looking member of the Jarrett family and probably the most tired right now. Boy, a long day, wasn't it, Dale?
It was a long day, but I think Patty's probably the best-looking member of this family, thank goodness. And we fought the car all day long, just chased it around, and you know, just couldn't ever hit on it. I thought at one time we were pretty good, and then we got good on the long run, but we just never could sustain the whole thing.
All right. Right there at the end of the race, you had a tremendous battle with Steve Grissom. And at the very end, looked like Steve got a little loose. You guys had a little contact.
Yeah, I was going to go on the outside of him, or at least try it, and see if there was anything there going into one. And so I drove in a little harder and was going to let my car roll up, and Steve got loose and moved up in front of me, and I hit him pretty good, but at least it was square in the back end, and we had a good race for 5th.
Pretty hard to race almost 500 miles all day and then have the battle for 5th position. That just shows the competition in this Winston Cup racing.
Yeah, it really does. And, you know, without some guys having some trouble, we wouldn't have been fortunate enough to be up there. But we're going to keep working at this. And, yeah, you got to drive all day long and really work hard at it for any spot that you get. And, you know, we're going to get this and work on it a little bit more. Obviously, you know, all the Fords need to work on their cars a little bit, and we'll take this Texaco Haviland Mack Tools Ford back and work on it some and be ready next week.
Well, I'm sure they will be. 2 5th-place finishes so far for Dale Jarrett this year. Mike?
Thanks, Glenn. Buddy, the finishing order showed 3 Chevys, 2 Fords, and the rest of the top 10, Chevy, Ford, Pontiac. But Ricky Rudd and Morgan Shepherd were the only Ford drivers to lead today, and they led, what, a total of 10 laps? What does that tell us?
Well, I don't know that the car is the big issue right now. I think the Ford's a good race car. I think the Monte Carlo is a good race car. Biggest thing, we've seen a bunch of new people up there. Jeff Gordon up front all day. Bobby Labonte up front. Steve Grissom fighting it out. We're in for a great year, and I can't wait.
Oh, I would agree. Let's show you how they finished up here today in the Goodwrench 500. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, and you see the car makes on the right-hand side of the screen. There's the top 10 as we ran them down. Grissom, Martin, Cope, Burton, Petty. A look back through the top 20. Good finish for John Andretti today. Brett Bodine and Aileen Carr soldiered home 14th. Ricky Craven, the rookie, in the 16th spot. Kenny Wallace rounded out the top 20. And Jeff Bodine, who had that 10-lap pit stop early on, ruined his chances. Rusty Wallace winding up out of the race, and from there back, drivers that had trouble made repairs and kept on going or fell by the wayside. A lot of incidents today, but not a lot of attrition, as many of these cars were running at the finish. Well, as they light up the charcoal in the infield and begin to pack up the motorhomes, we'll take a break from the North Carolina Motor Speedway and be right back.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Goodwrench 500 on TNN has been brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Midas, the Midas way, the way it should be.
Welcome back to Rockingham, everyone, where Jeff Gordon has just won his 3rd Winston Cup career race. Steve Grissom, another one of these young lions. We're standing back here in the garage area with him. Steve, a great run today. You finished 2nd. You couldn't, I would think, couldn't be more pleased with you and Buddy Parrott just coming together like you have.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a pretty neat feeling to have 2 top 10 finishes right here back-to-back. First 2 races in the season, but you know, we come down here Friday and unloaded the Monte Carlo, and it was fast right off the trailer. And when we got qualifying time, tried a little bit too hard and spun the car off of 2, and didn't tear it up bad, but you know, to be able to come away with a top 10 finish after that, you know, hey, these guys worked super hard, put the car back together, and had a good race set up. Hendricks Motors, Greg Gore, Todd Williams had a super motor in there for us today, so we were able to get a top 10 finish out of it.
I'll tell you what, the field is in trouble coming up. I said, how you feeling? He said, wow, I could go another 500 miles. So I think everybody's in trouble in this series if he could go another 500.
Let's have a look at the point standings. After 2 races, Dale Earnhardt moves to the point lead on the strength of a second at Daytona and a third here at Rockingham. Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin, Dale Jarrett, and there's Steve Grissom, shown in 5th in the standings. Ricky Rudd, Jeff Gordon, Michael Waltrip, Kyle Petty, and Ward Burton are the top 10 as the Cuppers head off to Richmond, Virginia. A recap of today's top 10 as Jeff Gordon gets his 3rd career victory in Winston Cup racing over Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd, and Dale Jarrett. This coming Saturday, we'll have the Busch Grand National Hardee's Frisco 250 live at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope you'll join us there for our first of many Busch Series telecasts this year. It's all outdoors on TNN at 5 o'clock, the Inn Fisherman, at 5:30, Bill Dance outdoors, and 6 p.m., Bass Master. So the fish are biting for the next hour and a half here on the Nashville Network. Well, it's been a long but great day here at The Rock for Buddy Baker, Ernie Irvan, Randy Pemberton, and Glenn Jarrett. I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Jeff Gordon on his 3rd career Winston Cup victory in today's Goodwrench 500. So long, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday at Richmond, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.